Hello, hello. Welcome to our hormone Q&A. We're going to talk about hormones. We're going to talk about menopause. We're going to talk about perimenopause, hormone replacement therapy. Will it help you? Will it hurt you? Is it dangerous? Is it dangerous not to take hormones? So basically, all of those things are going to be on the agenda today. Are you too young? Are you too old? Can you not take hormones because you've had high blood pressure or a clot or breast cancer or your mom had breast cancer or any of these things that you may have heard that most of them are not true or not fully true. So we're going to discuss all of that tonight. I don't have any slides at all. It's just you and me hanging out. We're going to get started in about, let's see, in about 2 minutes. Let me just make sure I am recording. Let's see, and recording is on, so we're good to go. If you're new here and you've never been on one of my Q&As, welcome. Welcome to our community. I'm Dr. Michelle Sands. I am a naturopathic physician. What that means, I am a natural medicine doctor with a focus on women's health, specifically perimenopause, menopause, hormone replacement, but from the perspective of being um, looking at the body as fully something that can heal itself and using natural medicine to help support the body healing, not to cover up our symptoms, not to suppress what the body wants to do, and not to just get by, but to actually thrive now and in the rest of our lives. Like most of us on this call are probably in what we call midlife, between 35 to 75, and we still have another half of our life to go. And we don't want to do it feeling tired, feeling sick, feeling weak, feeling like we don't have any drive or desire or passion for life. And we don't want to be in pain. We don't want to be losing our hair. We don't want to have vaginal dryness. We don't want to look like we are 10 years older than we actually are. And as you guys know, if you've been following me, there are so many symptoms that we can attribute to the loss of estrogen, the loss of progesterone, the loss of testosterone, and DHEA. And there's so many things we can do about them that are natural and are actually health promoting, life giving, actually extend our quality of life and our length of our life. And so that's why I am so passionate about this topic. And so it looks like we are right at 6 o'clock. So, or here in Central Time, but the top of the hour. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So excited to see you all. It's my favorite thing to do is to hang out and talk about hormones, to answer your questions, because I know how confusing it is to hear so many conflicting things about menopause, perimenopause, hormones, hormone replacement therapy, bioidentical, HRT, plant-based, not plant-based, pharmaceuticals, so many things. It's so confusing as a woman in the world to try to navigate what's right for you, what's going to be healthy, what's going to be right for your family. And so I love doing these free hangouts or just talking about the facts and the science and understanding why you might have heard some things that you have heard that are not true, like where that comes from. I'm going to explain that in the questions if you guys are asking questions about some of the myths and misconceptions. But I have no agenda. I'm just going to open it up for you guys to ask questions and hopefully I can answer them. But before I get into the questions, I just want to let you know why I'm so passionate about this topic and how I kind of have a unique perspective of what you guys are experiencing. Because believe it or not, I am going through menopause for the second time. I know it sounds crazy, sounds impossible, but when I was about 20 years old, sophomore in college, I had an unfortunate event where I passed out on the track. I was taken to the ER. They did a bunch of tests, told me nothing was wrong with me, sent me home, told me to come back, do more tests because I was like, no, there's definitely something wrong with me. I passed out. I have horrible digestion. I haven't got my period in 18 months. I have joint pain. I have chest pains. I'm losing my hair. I'm gaining weight, even though I'm running track. I have ringing in my ears. My skin is itchy. Like all of these things were going on with me. And I was taking something to help me wake up. I was taking something to help me fall asleep. I was taking something to help me go to the bathroom. I was taking something to help me stop going to the bathroom. And, antacids, the size, like the Costco size antacid, my college dorm room looked like the shelf at CVS. So it was insanity. So I went back to the doctor and they had run some tests and they told me that having a child was not going to be in the cards for me and that I was actually in premature menopause, that my ovaries had stopped working. And that was as much information as I got for the next 10 years. That they gave me antidepressants, they gave me birth control pills, they gave me pain medication, but they didn't give me any answers to what was going on with me. And I went to multiple doctor after doctor. And what I noticed is that the women who were in the waiting room that were looking for pre and postnatal care, they were getting all kinds of attention. There was all kinds of services for them. But me, who had lost my ability to reproduce, I was in, technically menopause. There is no services for me. There is no answers for me. There is no support groups for me. There was nothing. And so I got to see kind of firsthand how poorly prepared our conventional medical system is to deal with symptoms of perimenopause, menopause, and not just the physical symptoms, but the emotional symptoms, the whole ordeal that we go through as women. There's no talk, right? We have the talk when you go into puberty. You sit down with your parents, you learn the birds and the bees. Well, some of us do, some of us don't, but there's basically someone's going to tell you something about what's going to happen to you and it's going to make sense. Then you have a baby, there's what to expect when you're expecting. There's some kind of information about what to expect, what's happening to your body. But then you go through perimenopause and menopause, and it's this big mystery to everyone's doctor that women are, in their 40s, they're starting to gain weight, they're starting to get irritable, they're starting to have fatigue. Different symptoms pop up for different women, maybe hot flashes, maybe vaginal dryness. You go to the doctor, and what's happening, they're like, oh, maybe you should eat less and exercise more, or maybe you're just stressed out, have a glass of wine, or well, you're just getting older, or well, you have kids, so what do you expect? You're not supposed to have energy. And that is crazy to me because we all know that if you're a woman in her late 30s, early 40s, and you're experiencing these symptoms, it's perimenopause. It happens to every single woman that gets to that age. For some women, it's a little younger. For some women, it's a little older. But for our medical system to act like we don't know what it is, that boggled my mind until I found out that less than 20% of all primary care physicians, whether they're OBGYNs, whether they are endocrinologists, whether they're your family doctor, only less than 20% of them have any training at all on perimenopause, menopause, hormone replacement therapy, any of that. So all your doctors who are informed, who are hormone replacement therapy literate, who are menopause experts, they are all getting trained after medical school. Myself, I have gone through training from multiple different organizations, the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, the Menopause Society, and then lots of training on my own through IFM, functional medicine, other naturopathic courses, and then, decades of working with women. So that's kind of why I'm doing this and why I'm so passionate, but there's no holds barred. There is no bad questions. The only type of questions that I try not to answer in this format is looking at actual labs or providing actual dosing of hormones, because that is not something that I can really do in this format. And I don't want to do anyone a disservice. Now, we do have our Healthy Hormone Club, where that's exactly what we do. We look at your lab tests, we evaluate your symptoms, we provide hormone replacement therapy, we reevaluate your symptoms, we do unlimited consultations, and we do extra testing. So all of that is included in our Healthy Hormone Club. So if you're someone who needs that kind of help, that's something we do offer. But I'm going to get into your questions now. So for those of you who are kind of new to Zoom or new to how we do it, there are some buttons along the bottom of the dashboard if you're on the computer. If you're on the phone, you might have to scroll a little bit, but there is a chat where you can say, hi, how's it going? And I'm going to look in the chat right now, just say hi to some of you. I see Lynn, I see Stacy, I see Sonia, I see Stephanie, Eileen, Lulu, Genevieve, Anastasia, welcome everybody. And just so you know, I do have a couple helpers with me. We have Jen, who is our customer success manager, who is absolutely amazing. And then we have Shauna. She's a member of our Glow Squad, just kind of like our cheerleader. And she really is super helpful with helping women understand what we do here at Glow Natural Wellness, if hormone replacement therapy is right for them. And so they are going to be helping me in the chat to move me along in case I miss anything. But if you do have questions, I would love it. It'd be super helpful if you can pop those questions where it says Q&A. So there's a section down at the bottom where it says, I think it says Q&A. And so that is where the questions are going to go through. Right now, there's only a few in there. So pop your question in there if you have one, because I will definitely get to answer it. But I am going to go through because I do see some questions in the chat before I said that. So no penalties. We're going to go ahead and answer those. So I'm going to go through in order that I see them. But if you have more questions, please go ahead and put them in the Q&A. Awesome. So that's my little spiel. Now it's all about you. So if you're just coming in, you haven't missed anything. We are just answering questions about hormone replacement therapy, perimenopause, menopause, symptoms, aging, all of those things. So I'm going to do my best to answer as many questions as possible tonight. These are typically pretty fun. I don't throw up any slides. I don't have any sales pitches, although we do always welcome you into our Healthy Hormone Club, working with us. We do work with women all over the world, and in every state in the United States, also Canada. So most English-speaking countries, we work with women. So that is amazing. All right, you guys, let's see. Postmenopausal, 64 years old, on HRT, estrogen level was 240. I have lots of inflammation, allergic problems. What level should I be? Does estrogen cause allergic reactions? So I would need to know how you're measuring your estrogen. And I would also need to know, are you talking about estradiol, estriol, or estrone? Those are three different estrogens. I'm assuming you're talking about estradiol. And typically there's going to be a range on your test. And then I'll need to know if you took your hormones within 12 to 24 hours of your test. It doesn't seem, if it's a blood test, it doesn't seem bad. Estrogen typically does not cause allergic reactions. It could be, however, depending on the modality of hormone replacement that you're using, there could be something else in that cream, that gel, the patch, however, the pill, whatever you're taking, however you're getting that delivery method, there could be something else in there causing an allergic reaction. A lot of people don't realize that even in your bioidentical hormones, whether they're compounded or whether they're pharmaceutical, there's additional ingredients in those. And so there's some pretty nasty ingredients in most of the creams and gels and the patches. We're talking about petrochemicals, microplastics, parabens, BHT, propylene glycol, big list of endocrine disrupting compounds, carcinogens, things that are going to cause harm overall to your overall balance of your body and can cause allergic reactions. I do see a lot of allergic reactions with the patch because a lot of people are allergic to the adhesive. but some people do fine with it. So with that said, one of the reasons why we started the Healthy Hormone Club is because I really wanted to find hormone replacement that was 100% clean, toxin free, not tested on animals. And so all of the products that we use in the Healthy Hormone Club are free from plastics, parabens, petrochemicals, propylene glycol, carcinogens. They're just plants, just things you can pronounce. And they're clean enough to eat, although I don't recommend it because they do not taste good. But anything you're going to be putting on your skin or in your body or vaginally, topically, sublingually, anything you're going to be doing, you want to make sure it's as clean as possible, especially with hormone replacement therapy, because you're going to be using it every day for a very long time. If you're just taking like a pharmaceutical or a pain pill or something for a short period of time, of course you want it to be as clean as possible, but you can kind of get away with having a little stuff in there that may not be good in the long term because you're not going to use it in the long term. So I'm always a fan of, naturopathic medicine. One of our tenets is do no harm. And what that means is treat the condition and help the body heal without adding in anything that is going to actually hurt the body. So that's what we talk about with side effects of medication. So you're suppressing a symptom, but then you're causing another symptom. So that is doing harm to the body. So in naturopathic medicine, we always try to use the most natural method. And in this case, for hormone replacement therapy, we don't want to be putting in hormones and also putting in hormone disruptors, right? That is kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. And I was actually on a webinar last night with some other women that are very pro hormones and pro hormone replacement. And we had a great conversation, but we got to the topic of toxins in the hormones. And she's a dear friend. But she says, like, I don't care if there's toxins in the hormones because I eat Doritos, I eat processed food, I drink alcohol. And so I don't really care what's in the hormones. And that is completely fine. And I celebrate that she is doing what she wants to do with her body. But my mission is to provide the cleanest, purest, most healthy products that I can. And so that is what we're doing here at Glow Natural Wellness. I still celebrate any woman who gets help for her hormonal imbalances or help for any symptom in a way that works for her. So there's no shame, there's no guilt, but there's also a lot of you out there that follow me or you're in my community because you don't want to put junk in your body. And I have a son who's 9 years old. He was born when I was 41 because I was after that diagnosis of early menopause. When I was 20, I was told I'd never have kids, and I thought that would be true for the rest of my life. Turns out the diagnosis was not quite correct at that point in time. My body could not produce any, it was not ovulating and could not have a period, but I had a lot of other health issues going on that I was able to remedy young enough in my life. And when I got to meet my husband, Jeff, I told him, you're not going to want to marry me. I am damaged goods. I am not a full woman because I cannot give you a baby. And he said, who cares? Don't worry about it. Let's just have fun. Let's just date. And we ended up going to Mexico on a trip together, our very first trip out of the country. We were already very serious at that time. I get sick from the water, or I thought I'm throwing up, this and that. Jeff says, you're pregnant. I say, no, can't get pregnant. He's like, I think you are. So we go do a test at the Mexican clinic. Turns out I'm pregnant. And so anyway, that was at age 40, had Paxton at 41. I'm 50 now. So the point of me telling you that is I need to do everything in my power to preserve my health and extend my life and live as long as I can because I started late with him. So I want to make sure I'm there for his graduation and his marriage and him growing old. And so this is why I'm so dedicated to anti-aging medicine, to longevity, to natural health, and to being toxin-free as possible. So that was a long answer to short question, but so my answer to that is it's probably not the estradiol that is causing the reaction, because you would have had reactions to estradiol all your life if you are using bioidentical hormones. Now, if you're using synthetic hormones, you might have a reaction to that. And if you're using a product that has other ingredients in it that you're sensitive to, that could be causing the problem. Awesome. Okay, next question. So I am going to be going back and forth. If you can just pop your questions in the Q&A, that would be awesome. I'm not going to take the hand raises on this particular call, although we do that usually on our happy hours inside our Healthy Hormone Club. It just keeps the recording clean, keeps it moving along. I just want to make sure I get everyone's questions answered. So let's see, but I will, if you still have your hand up at the end and we run out of questions, I'll go ahead, but go ahead and pop your question in there. All right, the next question is, I have the progesterone drops. I'm 49. I menstruate every month. Should I use the drops every night? My periods are heavy. Endometriosis ruled out. There are fibroids, 2 of them. I just did the Dutch test, no results yet. Should I just put 4 drops on my forearm at night? Why do we stop using pro drops during our period? So in naturopathic medicine and in general, in hormone replacement, usually we're trying to mimic the natural cycle, and your body in your reproductive years makes very little, almost no progesterone in the first 2 weeks of your cycle, and then you ovulate, and then your progesterone goes up, and then it drops back down right before your period. So we are mimicking that natural flow of hormones when you are replacing your hormones. So if you're still cycling, we generally do that. But if your periods are heavy, you can definitely go ahead and use, maybe use, if you're doing 4 drops a night, you can maybe increase that to 5 drops during the second half of your cycle, and maybe do 2 drops in the beginning and see how you feel. It's not always adding more progesterone doesn't always help with the bleeding, but estrogen dominance or a high level of estrogen in relation to your progesterone can cause heavy bleeding. So sometimes adding that progesterone in can help. So that's what I would recommend for you. Use a smaller amount in the beginning of your cycle. Still take those 5 days off during your period, because if you continue on with the progesterone, it might push your period or you might not be as regular. And so that's kind of what you have to see. But I would look also once you get your results of your test back and see what your pattern is doing. I'd be interested to know if you do in fact have estrogen dominance, and in that case, you might need even more of the progesterone. And if you need help with that, you can definitely write in to our customer service support at Glow Natural Wellness. You can also call our customer service helpline, and then you can ask to get some more help. And then we also, of course, have our Healthy Hormone Club, which is really for cases like this where it's not so cut and dry. And you want some additional help. And at 49, likely you're going to need estrogen soon. You're probably going to need DHEA or testosterone soon. So you can actually get that support. And then your hormones are included, so you're not paying extra for them. Awesome. Okay, welcome. I see everyone's glad to be here. Welcome, welcome. So good. I do see we have some members of the Healthy Hormone Club in here. So good to see you. If you do want to share your experience with hormone replacement therapy or even with working with Glow Natural Wellness, you can put that in the chat so people can see it. That would be awesome. Yeah, Lou, if you want to put your questions in the Q&A if you can. If you're having trouble finding the Q&A, I am going through the chat as well. So no worries there. Okay, let's see. I'm just going through. Okay, after my second child, I went to my OBGYN for no libido. She told me that is your body telling you that you do not want any more children. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, Darlene. I was joking last night that I should start a YouTube channel that is just stupid things doctors say, because I cannot believe that like an actual trained licensed professional is saying stuff like that. It's absolutely nuts. But after you do have a child, your estrogen levels will drop almost to the level of menopause for a period of time while you're breastfeeding. And so it's really common to have vaginal dryness, to have hot flashes, to have a lot of symptoms during that time. But if you're young enough and your body is healthy enough, generally, once you stop breastfeeding, that will come back up. So hopefully that's helpful. Hi from Colorado. Hi from Canada, British Columbia. Awesome. I was just in Kelowna last week, which is British Columbia as well. So it's beautiful up there. I've never been up there. Absolutely gorgeous. Genevieve, welcome. You said you just joined the Healthy Hormone Club. I'm so excited to have you in the program. We do have some great stuff for you. So you're going to get a welcome call. There is a welcome party every Monday. We have a happy hour coming up with me where we just talk about fun stuff, or sometimes we talk about skincare, and sometimes we talk about fitness. Like this month, we're going to be talking about stress reduction and heart-brain coherence, and how to do some tricks to help your adrenals to be strong and you to be more resilient no matter what life throws at you. So that is going to be a whole lot of fun. Awesome. Janice says, I saw you last night on the relaunch seminar. It was amazing. I was amazed that itchy ears and dry eyes are symptoms. I joined your Healthy Hormone Club and sent my saliva test in yesterday. Thank you for your wonderful program. You're so welcome. I'm so excited. You're right there to see what's going on and getting some relief. Those itchy ears and dry eyes, I will tell you right away, that is low estrogen. Estrogen is our hydrating hormone. So it does so many things in the body, energizes us, fuels our cells, but it also hydrates our tissues. So dry eyes, dry skin, dry vaginal tissues, even our blood vessels can get dry and brittle. Our joints get dry and brittle. This is why we have joint pain, our hair, all these things are related to that drop in estrogen. Estrogen is so vital to our overall health and wellness, but also how we look and feel. And like the symptoms, like the itchiness, even some people get itchy skin, or like feels like something's like walking on their skin. I have that. Some other people get kind of a numbness in their extremities, and that is because the nerve fibers, the myelin sheath that covers them gets degraded and can kind of like short circuit. Some people get an electric shock feeling, which I think has to be absolute torture. And they oftentimes get told that it's all in their head or they're making it up. And that is so sad, because we do have documentation on all of these things. So if you are confused or you are wondering if one of your symptoms might be hormone related, we do have an amazing resource on our website. If you go to glownaturalwellness.com, and there's a whole section that is, it says learn. And under there's free resources. And there is a guide that we created called 99 Symptoms, One Root Cause. And that is going through head to toe, 99 different symptoms related to hormone decline in midlife. It's absolutely phenomenal. Like when you see, oh my God, I didn't know that was a menopause symptom. And my cholesterol is going up. I didn't know that was a menopause symptom. And, my hair is starting to fall out. I didn't know that was a menopause symptom. And, all of these things, my gut issues. And I used to use skincare on my face, and now it's causing a reaction. I didn't know that was a menopause symptom, but it is. So many different things. Urinary tract infections. That's one of the big ones. As we lose estrogen in our vaginal tissues and our urinary tract, it's called the urinogenital symptom of menopause. And if that is where your estrogen is so depleted that you lose the lactobacillus in your microbiome, you have dryness in your vaginal tissues, the walls begin to thin, you might have bleeding, itching, burning, painful sex, atrophy of the tissues, and urinary tract infections become more and more prevalent. And so that is one of the symptoms of low estrogen as well. Absolutely crazy. And then progesterone is also just as important. So many things, brain fog, difficulty sleeping, autoimmune conditions, even low thyroid can be related to low progesterone. So I did have a couple women that they had always been on thyroid medication, and then all of a sudden it stopped working, and their doctor had to increase their medication. And this is like after 20 years of being on the same dose. And they started getting heart palpitations because they had too much medication. And they also happened to be experiencing hot flashes and low libido and symptoms of menopause. So they came and they wanted to get their hormones balanced. And we talked about the thyroid medication. I let them know you're probably going to need less thyroid medication. You're probably going to go back to your original dose once you get your hormones in your body. And so she did, she started using the hormones. She told her doctor she wanted to not take her medication for a little bit of time. And with the hormone replacement, she actually didn't go back to her original dose. She went back to half the dose she was on, not double like the doctor had given her, because it was just the low progesterone that was not allowing her body to convert and to make the active thyroid hormone. So, so many things can be a symptom of what we think is something else, but actually related back to the hormone decline. Okay, let's see. If you're just joining us, we are just doing our live Q&A all about menopause, perimenopause, hormone replacement therapy, um, all those things, the symptoms, the myths, the misconceptions. And so you haven't really missed anything because I'm just answering questions as they come in. So you can just go ahead and pop your question in the Q&A, which is down at the bottom of the screen. I'm also answering questions in the chat right now, but it's actually helpful if we move them to the Q&A because it's easier for me to monitor. Awesome. All right. So I've got Mary. I'm 70 years old and I work as a RMT, still physically strong and lean. Way to go. That's the way to do it. But I'm experiencing night sweats, frequent urination, muscle wasting. I did your hormone test with the result of low estrogen. What do you feel or think is the best bioidentical estrogen to take? So, yes, you're on the right track with bioidentical estrogen. So you did the test, you have the symptoms first, night sweats, frequent urination, muscle wasting. A lot of times people don't realize that your muscle in order to contract needs estrogen to have that contraction, that full contraction. And when we can't get that full contraction, then our muscles start to atrophy. Other hormones come into play here too. DHEA and testosterone also help with body composition, also help with a lot of different symptoms, energy, motivation, things like that. Frequent urination, definitely a sign of that atrophy of the urinary tract and the pelvic floor muscles and also the vaginal tissues. And then the night sweats, usually estrogen, sometimes progesterone as well, can be causing those. So your test shows low estrogen. You definitely want to replace that estrogen if you have a uterus still. So you're still never had a hysterectomy. You're also going to want to replace progesterone. But even if you don't have a uterus, you want to replace progesterone because you want that hormone balance as well. So you're going to want bioidentical estrogen, estradiol, and or estriol. So you can do estradiol by itself, which is the main potent estrogen that we have in our body that does most of the things, but it has a helper called estriol. And this estriol is great for brain health. It's great for immune health. It can combat autoimmunity. And it has other helpful aspects to it as well. So you can do those together or apart. Bioidentical is the way to go. With estrogen, you always want to use transdermal estrogen. You don't want to use oral, like a pill that you swallow. You can do a sublingual, but I do recommend topical estrogen above all because that is the safest. Even bioidentical estrogen, when taken orally, it has to be broken down by the liver before it goes to your tissues. And that breakdown process results in the creation of an enzyme called MMP9. Well, that's its nickname. Its real name is really, really long, and even I can't pronounce it. So this MMP9 then goes through your body, and it can actually cause hardening of the arteries and blockages. So it can cause cardiovascular events and strokes and things like that. So you never want to use that oral estrogen, but you can use topical transdermal. So you can use cream, you can use patch, you can use a gel, you can use a spray. So there's all different delivery methods of that estrogen, the estradiol and the estriol, or the estradiol alone. In our practice, we like using the combination because of the added benefit. A lot of our women in our programs do have a tendency for autoimmunity. In fact, 70% of women have a tendency for autoimmune conditions, and the number is going up and up as our world becomes more toxic. And so having that protection there is nice to have, and it also enhances the impact of your estradiol. And then the progesterone, you always want to make sure it's progesterone, micronized progesterone, not progestin, because there is something called progestin, which is fake progesterone, synthetic progesterone. Medroxyprogesterone acetate is the most famous and the most dirty. When I say that, that is what gave hormone replacement therapy a bad name back in 2002. There was a study called the Women's Health Initiative study. This was done basically to prove how amazing hormone replacement therapy is and how it's helping so many women. At that time in 2002, more than half of women who went to the doctor would get hormone replacement therapy. What they used back then was oral conjugated equine estrogen. What that means is a pill made of horse estrogen, and then that medroxyprogesterone acetate, also oral. And so that's what they studied in the study, because that's what was mostly prescribed at the time. And before the study even really got underway, it got shut down. And one of the things that was reported was that hormones cause breast cancer, hormones cause heart attacks, hormones cause strokes. This was not after the study was published. This was before the study was published. And so once it was published, they realized, oh, okay, the group that took the estrogen only, they didn't have an increased risk of cancer. They had a decreased risk. Okay, the medroxyprogesterone acetate, that's what was causing most of the problems. And most of the women in the study had pre-existing conditions. Most of them were over age 65, were on diabetes medication, was on heart medication. So they were already having this propensity to these issues. The problem is the press already reported how dangerous hormones is. And if you know anything about human psychology, if something's all over the news saying it's deadly and it's going to hurt you, it doesn't matter how much science comes out after that. It's scary, and most women just did not want to even deal with it. And doctors who had no training on this were like, I'm not going to prescribe hormones anymore. And so here we are 20 years later. We have bioidentical hormones made from plants now that are exactly like the hormones in our body that do not cause any of those health conditions when used correctly. So many doctors are still going back and quoting the Women's Health Initiative study with those fake hormones, with the horse estrogen and the medroxyprogesterone acetate. And it's maddening because it's like comparing an orange, like the fruit, to an orange Skittle, the candy. Yes, they both have orange in the name. Yes, they have an orangey smell and an orangey flavor, but they're absolutely different. They're made of different things. The fruit has vitamin C and antioxidants and water, and all these things are going to give you health. It grows on trees, it's found in nature. It is a nutritious, healthy thing to put in your body. And then the orange Skittle is made in a factory. It's made of high fructose corn syrup, artificial dyes, artificial flavors. It's going to cause tooth decay, diabetes, inflammation, maybe cancer, ADHD, all the things. And it is not natural, but it's like comparing those two things when doctors compare bioidentical plant-based hormones with the synthetic counterparts and say that they do the same thing. I have been at numerous conferences in the medical community where I'm sitting at a table with physicians and surgeons, and they're like, I can't believe you prescribe those hormone replacement therapy. Aren't you afraid that you're going to get a lawsuit for cancer? And I'm like, no, because the studies are showing that they actually reduce rates of cancer, reduce rates of heart disease. In fact, in 2024, there was a study called, get this, the 10 million women study, 10 million women. And they were looking at the impact of hormone replacement therapy on these women and whether it led to any increased risk of disease. And what it found is that women on hormone replacement therapy had a lower risk of cancer, lower risk of heart disease, lower risk of diabetes, lower risk of Alzheimer's, lower risk of osteoporosis, and lower risk of, I think it was 7 different types of cancer, and increased life expectancy. So a lower risk of dying for any reason. It's called all-cause mortality. And so if that's not enough like information or enough to debunk the Women's Health Initiative study, there have been countless studies and studies since then. So starting at the year after to 10 years after, and now we're at the 22nd anniversary, and people are still quoting that study with those hormones that most people don't prescribe anymore. But I do see coming across my desk women filling out intake forms where in tests requisition forms where they're still on conjugated equine estrogen, they're still on oral estrogen, they're still on MPA or medroxyprogesterone acetate. And it's boggling to me why anyone's prescribing this. But then I realized that most doctors get their information and their continuing education from the pharmaceutical companies. And so they're not really staying up to date on these things. So my message to you is if you are looking to replace your hormones or you are looking for help with perimenopause and menopause symptoms, definitely go to a doctor that understands women's health, that understands hormones, that understands natural methods, because there are amazing plant-based hormones that are made from plants that do not have any added yucky stuff in them and are actually health giving. So the long answer to that question, I can't believe I just like went on a tangent. But yes, you want bioidentical transdermal estrogen, so through the skin, and then you want a bioidentical progesterone to balance it out and to keep you in great balance to improve overall health. I don't know if you tested your progesterone as well or just your estrogen, if you tested your testosterone also. For testosterone, the cool thing about testosterone is even after menopause, you can still do natural lifestyle methods to improve your testosterone. Both men and women can do this. So things like lifting weights, eating enough protein, optimizing vitamin D levels, reducing stress, all of those things will actually improve your testosterone levels. And if it's not enough, if your body just can't do it, then you can add in a bioidentical topical DHEA, which is the precursor to testosterone, and that can get your levels into the healthy range. There's a very small proportion of women that actually will not get to the optimal range using DHEA. And for them, they might need to use testosterone, but you want to go slow with testosterone because it does have some side effects in women that can be hard to reverse if you just like have like a massive prescription. A lot of people who come to us on pellets, which are these hormone little granules that get inserted into your skin surgically, those tend to be super high doses. And while sometimes women feel good on them in the beginning, oftentimes they end up with hair loss, they end up with belly fat gain, they end up with a deepened voice, they end up with facial hair and acne, and sometimes an enlarged clitoris, and some of those things don't go back. And so you just want to go slower with the testosterone. And I personally like to go as naturally as possible. So if you can optimize it with lifestyle, start there. If you need to add in the DHEA, that's readily available, plant-based, toxin-free. That's what we do for the majority of women in our Healthy Hormone Club. And, the results are great. And if you still need testosterone, then that's definitely something that you want to look into. But for most women, you're going to notice that your levels are great. And then some women actually have healthy testosterone levels past menopause too. So you're going to want to test, but definitely getting all the hormones balanced is going to be, where you want to be. And that's just going to help you stay energetic, have your mental capacity, help you stay as youthful as possible, and just have you live a really good life, not to have your bones deteriorate, not to have your brain deteriorate, not to have your whole body break down and just feel kind of broken inside when you can feel vibrant and healthy. Awesome. Yes, that's what you're excited for. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Okay, Eileen just has a shout out. So thank you, Eileen. She says the Healthy Hormone Club is wonderful with great support. Started on bioidentical hormones this past January at the age of 70. Made a huge difference in sleep, libido, and other benefits. That's awesome. I just want to say that we have the last two people, Eileen and Mary, both 70 years old. So one of the myths that you hear from many of my colleagues, even some of my colleagues that are the biggest like menopause champions on social media, they will still say like you can't use hormones after age 50, 60, like 10 years after menopause. There's some cutoff. And so why is that myth exist? Well, the myth started, well, it wasn't a myth when it started because when doctors were prescribing mostly the equine estrogen and the medroxyprogesterone acetate, they knew that there were side effects associated with that, but they also wanted to help the women who were experiencing all these hot flashes and all of these menopause symptoms. Like the standard of care in medicine only really sees hot flashes and vaginal dryness as the two main symptoms of menopause. We know there's many more, but that's what they're looking at. So they're like, well, women tend to have the most hot flashes like within the first 10 years after menopause. That's actually not true because I see many women who are 20 years past menopause still experiencing hot flashes. But this was the thinking. And they wanted to help the women with these hormones that had side effects, but they were trying to minimize the risk of these hormones that are made from horse estrogen and the synthetic medroxyprogesterone acetate. So they're like, let's take it the least amount of time possible so you have less side effects. And that's where the 10-year rule came from. Now, if you're using plant-based bioidentical hormones, you want to use them for as long as possible because they are health promoting, they are life giving. So the longer you use them, the more benefits you get. And so there is no cutoff, there is no 10-year rule, there is no you're too old or too young for hormones. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I hear from a lot of my physician colleagues that women have to wait until they are done having periods to start replacing their hormones. That could not be further from the truth. That is absolutely wrong. As soon as you start experiencing symptoms of hormone decline, that is the best time. Well, there's like the best time to plant a tree. Have you heard that one? There's like a saying, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, and the second best time to plant a tree is right now. Well, same thing with hormone replacement therapy. Yeah, the best time to do it is like if you can turn back time and you can say, when is the best time for me to start hormone replacement therapy? It's right when your hormones start dropping. So you just top them off a little bit. And then when they start dropping more, you top them off a little bit more. So you're staying optimal the whole time. You never have to sink down. So you never have like that rapid aging, the hair loss, the hot flashes. You never have all those symptoms. You will still have your periods, will still become irregular and then stop because there's not really anything that we can do to like keep you ovulating and producing eggs for the rest of your life. But the symptoms, the actual deterioration of the cells, the actual deficiency in the body, because every cell in your body has receptors for hormones, and every cell in your body in your brain, in your heart, in your vaginal tissues, in your bones, they are dependent on those hormones. So you don't want to live with this state of dependency or the state of deficiency, right? So the best time to the second best time is going to be as soon as you learn about it, as soon as you understand it, so that you might be here and you might have dropped down, but then you can build your way back up. Because guess what? I don't know if you guys realize the body is constantly regenerating. If you've ever cut your finger, what happens? That cut doesn't stay there for years and years and years. Your body heals, it creates new skin cells. All of a sudden, like it's like brand new. It's like you don't see that cut from last year. That skin's rebuilt itself. Well, the same thing happens with your bone. Same thing happens with pretty much all the cells in your body. So if you can start giving your body what it needs in terms of hormones, in terms of nutrition, in terms of water, in terms of rest, in terms of love and gratitude, all of those things are going to help build you stronger. And all the other things, the food, the love, sleep, the water, those are readily available, and there are no myths and misconceptions. Well, there are some, but there's not a lot of people telling you those are bad for you. But the one thing that we always hear people say, oh, don't do that. That's dangerous. That's bad for you. The hormones, and it's not the hormones that we're talking about today, the bioidentical plant-based hormones. It's those synthetic hormones that you don't want to use. So hopefully this is making sense to you. Let me know in the chat if I am rambling and not making sense and confusing you more, or if this is making sense to you. So I am just still going through and I'm going to get to all your questions. So do not worry. Looks like we've got, let's see, Virginia, also in the Healthy Hormone Club. Oh, not Kathy from Virginia. Welcome, welcome. I don't know if we've met yet, but I'm excited to see you on our next happy hour. So awesome. This is great. I've had nothing but great experience with Glow Natural Wellness. Oh, you guys, I feel like this is like the Glow Natural Wellness fan club. Thank you so much. One thing that I do want to say for anyone who's new to us, we care about women. We only hire practitioners and coaches and even the people that do our accounting. They care about women. We show up every day. Like, how can we make a difference in the world? How can we shine the light? How can we pass the torch? How can we make this world a better place? And we have all these internal chats of like just celebrations of like when you guys are happy, when you guys are like say anything nice, when you guys have a win, we re-celebrate that on our end because that's what drives us. And we do try to make everything as affordable as possible, but also as top notch as possible because we really want you to feel special. We want you to have access to the very best and not compromise. So I want you to have optimal health without compromising the fact that you want to live toxin free, that you don't want to have products tested on animals, that you want to have products that are eco-friendly and support the environment, and that you want to live your best life. And that's really what we're all about. So I really appreciate the comments, but I really want like any of the new people or people who like are not in our like close community, people that might be just coming across us right now to understand like we are in it for health, we're in it for wellness, we're in it for the planet, we're in it for joy, we're in it for gratitude. And that is really what drives us at Glow Natural Wellness. I could be doing anything in my life right now on, what is this, Tuesday night? My son is at home, my husband's at home. But what do I want to be doing? I want to be here talking about hormones, answering the questions I know you guys have. A lot of women went through our hormone masterclass this week, and we tried to answer all the questions, but there are so many. And so I knew how to come here and just answer more questions and make it just available for women talking to women, right? Inside the Healthy Hormone Club, we do these calls, but we do them with everyone's pictures on the screen. No one's muted. And we just chit chat and we support each other. And that's the kind of community that I'm looking to grow, to create, so that it's so normal for women to just be able to talk to each other about their hormones, their health, their skincare, their cellulite, their hair, their stress, their grief, whatever it might be. And we want to support you. So anyway, little tangent, but super excited. Yes, there is going to be a replay sent out. So this is true for everybody because I know depending on your time zone, it can be getting a little bit late. I try to stay on these calls until I get almost all the questions answered. So if you're not doing anything tonight, hang out with me. I will be here for a while, but if you do have to run, I understand. I will not be offended if you leave. So do not worry. We will send a replay out. If not tomorrow, the next day, but I will try to get it out tomorrow. I'm not going to edit it or anything. So if you see me making weird faces in the beginning, just don't make fun of me. But we'll just send it out for everybody. So you have that. Oh, Lou, you get the electric shocks. You're one of those women. So a lot of people didn't believe me when I was telling them that this is a symptom of hormone decline, but it is, and it can be excruciating. I'm hoping that you're getting help with some bioidentical hormones to keep that in check because it does absolutely work, along with the healthy lifestyle as well. But yes, I hope that you're getting help with that because that is not any fun and I do not envy you. And what's interesting to note is that every woman will experience menopause differently. So some women will say, I don't have any menopause symptoms. And then they go to the doctor on their routine visit and they have severe osteoporosis because you can't feel that. And then someone will be like, I look at a piece of pizza and I gain weight. My skin is just looks like it aged 10 years overnight. I have hot flashes that I can't sleep at all. I get sick all the time, like all the things, right? They just have all the things. And so it just depends. It's not necessarily that you're doing something wrong. In fact, I had the opportunity to be part of a documentary about perimenopause that is directed by two monks. These are female monks that meditate a good part of their day, eat a clean diet, drink plenty of water, do yoga, are of healthy weight, have lots of gratitude, and guess what? They have menopause symptoms. So it's not that it's your fault. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. Yes, if you eat ice cream and Doritos all day, never drink any clean, fresh water, don't sleep, you're probably going to have worse menopause symptoms because they're going to be exasperated by all the inflammation. But you can be doing all the things right and you can still have symptoms that are, disruptive to your life. And then you can also, all of us will have that decline if we're not replacing our hormones in our heart health, our brain health, our vaginal health, our bone health, all the things. So yeah, it's crazy. So let's see. It looks like Shauna put in the chat the link to the 99 symptom guide that I talked about earlier. Yeah, so Eileen just going on in the chat about how much she loves the Healthy Hormone Club and how everybody is awesome. Yeah, you can schedule a call, a one-on-one actual call. So I know there's other companies that say you get unlimited visits, but you're literally texting someone a computer. Oh, come on in. Looks like the prize patrol is here. So come on in, Pax. All right, so this is my son Paxton. He is getting so big, he barely fits on the screen anymore. But on our Q&As, we like to do some little prizes. So we have two cool prizes. These are our, you can't even buy these. This is a Glow Getter, like a Stanley style cup, and there's a surprise Glow Natural Wellness supplement inside. And then we have, so Glow Getter is someone that goes out there in the world, gets what she wants, but lifts other women up while doing it. And then we have Glow Giver. This is someone who adds light to other people's lives. So we're going to do two raffles. And then we will get one of these, and inside there is one of our amazing supplements. All right, so Paxton, how are we going to determine the winner? This is a chat here. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom.
I'm gonna do a number 1 through 40.
Okay.
Whoever gets it first wins.
Okay, so let's get ready with your keyboard. So Paxton said, "Do you want to say it into the microphone so they can hear you better?"
So I'm gonna do a number 1 through 40, and whoever gets the number first wins the prize.
Okay, so you're gonna type a number, pick 1 through 40. You gotta think like Paxton. Paxton likes cats. He has his cat geometry shirt on. Super cute. So, all right, we got a bunch of numbers coming. So you said the first person, so I'm gonna have to scroll to the top. All right, so as soon as you see your number. A lot of people pick 35 and 25. I just think that's like kind of funny. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
You saw it?
No,
No, okay.
yes, right there.
Oh, this one?
Yep.
Okay, Carrie Kozlowski, you picked number 32, so you are the first winner. Which one should we give? Should she be a glow giver or a glow getter?
A glow getter.
Okay, Carrie. So Carrie Kozlowski, you are winning the glow getter. I'm going to surprise you with what's inside. It's one of our supplements, full size. Awesome. And so what I need you to do, Carrie, is I need you to email support@glownaturalwellness.com, or you can message Jen in the chat, but it might be easier just to email support@glownaturalwellness.com. And all you need to do is tell us that you won the Glow Getter prize and that just give us your address of where to send it. You don't have to buy anything. We're not going to harass you about anything. We're just going to give you your prize. And yeah, the product is in there. So that is awesome. And we have one more to do. So let's see. So this one is the Glow Giver. Also has an amazing supplement on the inside. How are they going to win this one?
I'm gonna do it with basically the same thing, but a little bit harder. I'm gonna make it a number from 1 through 50 this time.
Okay, 1 through 50. All right. So, oh, we have to go to the. All right. So we have to start. All right. Let's start here at 658. Okay. Let's start at 658. Okay. Start with there. 1 through 50 is what we're looking for. Even if you haven't put it in yet, you could still maybe win because maybe nobody picked it. Let me know when you see it. Not yet?
No, it might take a little bit for somebody to see
Okay.
this.
Okay. Oh,
Not yet.
some new numbers coming
I'm
up.
not seeing any.
Not yet?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Oh, no?
Nope.
Oh, whoops.
Somebody has to have an amazing guess. Think outside of the box.
Oh, outside of the box. Is that
Yep.
hints?
Somebody just got very close.
Okay. Not yet?
Nope.
Oh my God.
Somebody get one number away.
Oh my goodness. This is a good one, Paxton.
Mm-hmm.
And you can guess more than once if you already guessed.
Somebody get two numbers away.
Okay. Oh, I think I know what number you picked. Oh, so then 9 because that's your age. That would have been a good one.
That would have been good.
This one?
Nope.
No? Oh. I don't even know what it is.
Yep, right there.
Oh, Eileen Rodigan.
Mr.
Eileen is in our Healthy Hormone Club.
Oh, wow. What's the number of 4?
4 was the winner. So Eileen, you are getting the glow giver, right? The glow giver. And you kind of are a glow giver because I've seen how you act towards people. So this is like very fitting for you. And you get a cool supplement on the inside. So just go ahead and email us with your address where to send it. Let us know you won the glow giver prize. And that is all we got. So
Yep.
Paxton, you want us to say bye?
Bye.
Thank you so much, Paxton. As soon as I'm done answering every single question, I'll be home.
Yep. Bye.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, that was fun. So now I have to go back and see. So congratulations to our winners. And if you did not win and you are watching the replay, I am going to have Paxton pick another number for the replay, and we will do one more prize, and we'll let you know that via email. So I'm going to go back through, see where we are. Okay, I think this is my next question. Let's see. A question about cholesterol. My LDL, I'm more a bad LDL than HDL. Cholesterol going up, could it be from lack of hormones? If your hormones are if your hormones are not balanced or they are depleted, then that is a symptom of low estrogen, particularly. However, there are a lot of other reasons for cholesterol imbalance, is one of them being genetic. So some people genetically have a propensity to make more LDL than HDL. What is more important than the actual numbers of cholesterol is the particle size. So there is a test called the NMR particle size test, or the cardio IQ test, depending on which lab you do it with. And all you need to know is the particle size test. And so what that means is it looks at your cholesterol and it looks at, are they big and fluffy or are they small and sticky? Small and sticky is the more dangerous kind. So if you have big fluffy cholesterol, even if your cholesterol is high, actually is not dangerous. I have a lot of people I work with in different capacities. Some of them are professional athletes and they have super high cholesterol numbers. However, they have the big fluffy kind and they are healthy as can be. And so do not be afraid of cholesterol. Cholesterol is actually what your hormones are made of. So steroid hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol, thyroid hormone, those are all made of cholesterol. So it's important to know that we need cholesterol in order to have hormones, but just the numbers alone are not necessarily the problem. It's the size and the stickiness of them. So that's something to look into. So yes, low hormones can cause cholesterol to climb, but you can have perfectly balanced hormones and then also have high cholesterol. So there's other things that play: lifestyle, stress, environmental toxins, and of course, genetics. Okay, let's see. If a woman previously has had breast cancer, is it safe to start HRT post-cancer? The same question applies for a woman who has a family history of cancer. So this is a great question, and I'm so glad you're asked, because this is one of the myths and misconceptions about hormone replacement therapy. So when it comes to cancer, breast cancer, endometrial cancer, pancreatic cancer, skin cancer, all the cancers, but mainly women are talking about uterine cancer and they're talking about breast cancer when it comes to hormones. So the question is it safe to take hormone replacement therapy if you had breast cancer in the past? And the answer is yes, it is safe if you're using plant-based bioidentical hormones that are toxin-free, paraben-free, phthalate-free, EDTA-free, free from all the chemicals and carcinogens, because it's those chemicals and carcinogens that are going to cause the problem, not the hormones if they're bioidentical. So what's been found in the studies actually is that women who have either been on hormone replacement therapy or are currently on a hormone replacement therapy and they get cancer, because 1 in 7 women will get breast cancer regardless of whether they're on hormone replacement or not. Those women that do, who have either been on in the past or are currently on hormone replacement therapy, have better outcomes, meaning they recover better, they have less chance of dying, they have less chance of losing their breath, and they have less reoccurrence when it comes to the cancer. There's also many studies that show women who have been pregnant more often, who have had more times in their life where their hormones are very high, they have also better outcomes should they get cancer. And being on hormone replacement therapy actually does reduce your risk of many types of cancer, including breast cancer. So it reduces the risk. It doesn't prevent it entirely. So there's no way to completely protect yourself in a bubble and say you will never get cancer, but you have less risk on hormone replacement therapy, whether you've had cancer in the past or not. And if you actually currently have cancer and you're on hormone replacement therapy, you have better outcomes. So better chances of recovering, keeping your body parts, and not having any fatalities and having less reoccurrence. And this is true the same for a family history. In fact, if I had a family history of breast cancer or other types of cancer, I would definitely want to be on hormone replacement therapy as long as it's bioidentical, as long as it's toxin free, as long as it's dosed and delivered in a way that's appropriate for me. So I'm not talking about mega doses of hormones. I'm talking about the dose of hormones that's physiological, what the body normally would have made to get you to a healthy level, not a super physiological level or a super high level. Now, the cool thing is with hormone replacement therapy, you have that protection not just from cancer, but from all the other killers for women. The osteoporosis, the studies show that when women have a fracture and a fall, usually within 3 to 5 years, they are going to die. It's weird statistic, but it is absolutely backed up. Heart disease is a bigger killer of women than breast cancer, and that is definitely reduced risks by taking hormone replacement therapy. Dementia and Alzheimer's, all of these, other diseases are prevented. And so the 10 million women study that actually did show that reduced risk of not just breast cancer, but 7 other types of cancer as well. And so that myth, why is it there? Why do people say you can't use hormones if you have cancer, especially if you hear that you have estrogen receptor positive cancer or progesterone receptor positive cancer? What does that mean? Does that mean you can't take hormones? Well, all that means is so all of your breast cells have estrogen receptors on them. And if you get cancer, then cells start mutating. And once the cells mutate enough, then the hormone receptors are gone. So if you have estrogen receptor positive breast cancer, that means the cells have not mutated enough to lose the receptor. And so that doesn't mean that estrogen is going to cause more cancer or cause cancer to spread. Actually, in the Women's Health Initiative study, the study that proved, quote unquote, that hormone replacement causes cancer, it was the women that were taking the medroxyprogesterone acetate, not the estrogen. The women that were taking the equine estrogen had lower incidence of cancer, not increased, but reduced. And so it's really perplexing to me how estrogen got the bad name when it comes to breast cancer, because it's actually the progesterone synthetic that was the problem. And so personally, if I had a family history of breast cancer, or I had breast cancer in the past, or I currently had breast cancer, I would continue my bioidentical hormone replacement. I would do more lifestyle, because the more dangerous aspect when it comes to cancer risk is going to be a sedentary lifestyle, is going to be environmental toxins, is going to be processed foods and food additives and preservatives. And so you protect yourself by up leveling your immune system, you protect yourself by detoxifying, and you protect yourself by reducing inflammation. And that is what hormones are going to do. They're going to reduce your inflammation. They're going to help with your detoxification process. They're going to help with your overall resilience and immune health. And so I really hate that that is a myth, because the very people who would benefit, who are going to be protected, that need that protection, they're the ones that are not getting the help because of all of these rumors and myths and misconceptions about hormone replacement therapy. And I could go down a rabbit hole. I actually had the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Jen Simmons, who is was a oncologist, a surgeon of oncology, and she worked in the breast cancer ward at some of the most prestigious hospitals in the country. And she was telling us about how the hospital design is like made up just to put people through the breast cancer system so that the hospitals make money. So I don't know if that myth came up because of the Women's Health Initiative study about the medroxyprogesterone acetate and it just got converted over to estrogen, or if that myth keeps going because big pharma makes a lot of money from women actually having breast cancer. So we could go down the rabbit hole of the disservices that the medical system does, at least here in the United States, but I'm not going to go there. We're going to keep this positive and light, and we're just going to talk about what we can do, not what's being done to us, because that is a very disempowering place to be. And I really want everything we do here at Glow Natural Wellness to be about what we can do, what we have access to, what is good in the world. And the truth is that what is amazing is we have access to these plant-based hormones that come from nature that support our body naturally, that help us live longer so that we can be at one with the environment and we can actually reach our goals and make a difference in the world and pass that on to other women. And hopefully, I can only hope that our daughters and their daughters have it easier, that they don't have to be on Q&As on a Tuesday night hearing about the truths and the misconceptions and the disservices that are being done in the medical industry. I'm hoping that they're just going to be able to be, and they're going to have access to all the things that they need. And it's going to be normal and not weird to replace your hormones. So that's my goal. And so I really impart into all of you to share when we send the replay out, like if you could share it with another woman who might not have this information, because I am in it every day and this is what I'm talking about on a daily basis. All of our team members, they talk about this on a daily basis, but I'll go into a supermarket or I'll be at an event and people don't know what hormone replacement is. People don't know the word bioidentical or plant-based hormones. People don't know about what's going to happen to them in perimenopause and menopause. And so I constantly have to remind ourselves that we have to be like soldiers and spread the word. Like we're actually not soldiers, but kind of like apostles, or, like we just have to like share with other women things that we know and things that can be done, because there's no like education system for young girls about these topics. And so awesome. All right, do not worry if you have to leave. You do not have to apologize. I mean, you could say bye because I like to see you and I'm glad that you're here, but you don't have to apologize for leaving. It is awesome. Awesome. It looks like, let's see, who's this? Elizabeth says, thanks for your efforts to educate. I'm having success with DHEA after only about 6 weeks, regaining muscle definition in my arms. Yes, I love women with muscle. Like, I think it is the sexiest thing. I think that strong, powerful women might be a threat to society, but we need to band together and it's strong in mind, strong in spirit, strong in body. So I'm so happy to hear that. And I love that you're celebrating. And that's one thing that at Go Natural Wellness, we really try to celebrate the journey, right? We're all on this amazing journey. We're all in different spots. We're all at different places in the path. Some of you might be just learning about menopause. Some of you might have gone through your trials and tribulations, and now you're starting to go on the mend. And some of you might be right in the middle of the darkest hour. And what we need to do at every step is celebrate that you came here and you're learning something. You could be watching The Housewives of Orange County, or, I don't know, ridiculousness, or some YouTube video about who knows what, but you're here learning and you should celebrate that. Celebrate the fact that you're making efforts to improve your body, to improve your life, to improve your family, to be a better mom, to be a better grandmom, to be a better spouse or friend or community member, church member. Like, this is a celebration. And so I want to celebrate all of you for that. Yes, so testing, I have a question about testing. So testing is only a snapshot in time. How do we know that we're properly dosing without testing daily or weekly? So testing is a snapshot. You're right, because we can't like hook you up to a monitor and test you like as you're walking around. That would be highly inconvenient. But we're looking at your symptoms in relation to the test, and then we'll correlate those together. And then we retest every 3 or 4 months to kind of just make sure we're on track. So the test is part of it, but we look at about 65 different symptoms and your goals, and we talk to you about how you feel. And that is how we determine the dosing. So some clinics don't test at all. We like to have that test, especially as a baseline, especially kind of like see. But some women, like, the test is not as important as the symptoms. Like, your symptoms, how you feel is always going to be most important. We just look at the test, see, are we in the right range? Because sometimes with hormones, they're Goldilocks. So you can have really low hormones and have a symptom, maybe let's say a hot flash, and then your hormones can be in the middle, like right where they need to be, hot flash gone, or you can have super high levels of hormones and also have that hot flash. So the test is kind of a guide, but it always has to be looked at in conjunction with the symptoms. We never, ever, ever treat test results in isolation. We always look at the test and the symptoms. And then in between tests, we're going to adjust your dose based on your symptoms, based on how you feel in relation to how you used to feel. And then also we're going to coach you on lifestyle. We're going to coach you on other things that you can be doing to make your hormones work better, because it's not, well, I wish that hormones are like a magic wand. There's 20-year-olds at the height of their reproductive years that have perfectly normal hormones, and they are having issues with their health. So it's other things come into play as well. Just another comment on the breast cancer. One thing to note is that when women are in their 20s, when their hormones are at the highest, they have very low incidence of breast cancer. When women are pregnant and have 10, 20, 50 times the amount of hormones, they have a very low incidence of breast cancer. The group, the demographic that has a higher incidence of breast cancer is a demographic that has depleted hormones. And so that kind of points the point home a little bit more. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, let's see. Elizabeth says, hoping the progesterone kicks in soon to help with sleep, waiting a saliva test, see where everything is at. Great. Yes, you may need to do some other things in addition. Progesterone is one part of sleep, but melatonin is another very important hormone that we kind of forget that is really important for sleep. And then cortisol is an important hormone that can counteract that progesterone. That's our stress hormone. So sometimes doing some mind body techniques, doing some meditation, doing some adaptogenic herbs, doing some saying no to responsibilities, all these things can help as well. There's many other things that could be going on as well. But yes, sometimes, like with hormones, sometimes it does require some adjusting, because there could be a woman exactly my size, my body weight, look like me, have the same symptoms that I might have, and I might need one dose of hormones and she might need double. And so there's not like oh, you're a 40-year-old that weighs 150 pounds and you're Caucasian and you have hot flashes, here's your dose. And then, oh, here's another person that fits that same mold, they're going to get the same exact dose. That's not how it works. We're all different. We all metabolize our hormones differently. We all have different chemical processes going on at different speeds. We have different levels of symptoms. Some people are super sensitive. Some people are not sensitive at all. So there's a lot of different things at play. We all are in different environments. Every move we make, every thought we have, every bite we take, they are all hormonal experiences. So basically, everything can impact our hormones, and our hormones impact everything. And so it very much is a circle of life. It's yin and yang. We can't have just hormones in a bubble, and we can't have just lifestyle in a bubble. We have to marry the two together to get what we call balance, right? And sometimes it does take a little bit of tweaking, usually within a few months we can get everything dialed in. Some women, the first try, first day, first couple of days, they feel amazing. Some women are starting to get some symptoms improved, and then there's others that still linger. So we have to adjust dosing. And so it really depends. I wish that we can have every woman just boom, that's your dose. Perfect. We don't have that technology yet of mind reading or scanning the body and getting the dose, but that doesn't exist right now. But It is pretty awesome, and we really enjoy what we do. We love seeing the transformations come through. So yes, awesome. Okay, Sarah says you don't see anything in the chat. Let's see. I don't know if there's a setting on where only we see the chat, perhaps. So there might be like it's only coming to the panelists and the hosts, and you can only see your questions, or if you click on everyone and you want to talk to somebody else, I think you can chat to everybody, but I'm not really sure. When we do the webinar, this is like what we call a webinar style, where you guys are in the chat. Um, that's kind of how it goes on Zoom for us in our regular settings. And then when we do a meeting style, like inside the Healthy Hormone Club, we're all on video and there's like a group chat going. So that might be why. I'm just reading through the chat of what I can see. It does say each of the questions are to the hosts and the panelists. So I think we're the only ones that can see the questions, but I'm reading them out loud. I think that's also in case people put personal information in, then it's like safer, it's HIPAA compliant if you can't read it, because I'll leave out if someone says something that is personal, but I'll still read the question. So that kind of covers us a little bit as far as like safety, privacy, security. All right, Melody says, with all this knowledge, I wish all this knowledge had been there when I went through menopause many years ago. There is hope after all. Oh, thank you. Yes, I learn every day. So when I dealt with my menopause episode back the first time, I had no information either. So I was right there with you. And I was lucky enough to go through medical school and make this like my life's mission. But there's plenty of doctors out there that know a lot less than all of you guys after this one little hangout with me. So you guys are doing amazing. Awesome. All right, let me just take a little drink of water. Okay, I came in late. No problem. We're just answering questions, so it's not like you missed too much. What if I'm taking estradiol 10 micrograms vaginal insert that are covered by my insurance? Is your global low product redundant in this case? I was prescribed estradiol because I have lichen sclerosis. Is lichen sclerosis something that you might be able to help with? So yes, we have the same amount of estradiol inside our global low product, which is our vaginal serum, but we also have estriol, which is also very hydrating for the tissues. And we have hyaluronic acid and a bunch of botanicals that help soothe the tissue. So if you're just using a tablet, you're not getting that soothing experience. And then also the fact that it's a serum, it's going through the vulva, it's going through the urinary tract, it's going through all the vaginal tissues and the vaginal walls. So you're getting that increased elasticity, you're getting that increased blood flow, you're getting the support for the vaginal microbiome so that you're less likely to have urinary tract infections. So it would replace that vaginal estradiol, but it's going to give you a lot more. And we do have a lot of women with lichen sclerosis that use Globalo and have had amazing results. So I do always have to say, just for legal reasons, definitely talk to your doctor about, your prescription and maybe wanting to move to a vaginal serum. But again, just like the hormone creams, Global Low is the only Leaping Bunny certified toxin-free, plastic-free, paraben-free vaginal estradiol on the market. And it's also available without a prescription because I want to make sure that as many women can get access to it as possible. And there's zero claims against vaginal estrogen. There's no reason why it should not be offered over the counter. And so I don't know why more people don't offer it over the counter, but we have worked out with our legal and with the FDA that it is okay for vaginal estrogen to be over the counter. I think in the UK, it's readily available over the counter without any prescription. And so Globalo is one of those products. You can get it with estradiol and estriol, or you can get it with DHEA, which they're both really great. And some women just prefer one over the other. We like to use them as estradiol in the morning, DHEA at night, and that gives you like a full spectrum benefit. DHEA helps more with sensitivity and pleasure and things like that, but also helps with the hydration and the sensitivity. And then the estradiol is going to do more for the lichen sclerosus, for the urinary tract infections, for the thickening and thinning of the vaginal wall. So it's going to help more with those, but otherwise they both have similar benefits. And that's Glow Below. That is our vaginal serum. It's actually on sale this week for 33% off. So if you go to our website, glownaturalwellness.com, there's a banner across the top that says Glow Below is on sale for 33% off. If you click on that, it'll put the coupon code in there automatically when you go to checkout, and you can choose which version you want. Awesome. I was reading. I tell all women I care about this great group. Imperfect Strangers will meet with a new naturopath this coming Thursday. She is fairly young. I trust that she will be open. I hope so. We can just hope, and we can educate her, and we can just, if she has an open mind and she's willing to work with you, then that is amazing. Awesome. All right, I'm getting finally through when Paxton was here in the chat. Okay, I'm going through and I think I'm almost done with the chat. Shauna did post at the very bottom of the chat. Oh, Shauna, can you repost that if you're still here to everybody in case anyone wants to book a call and have personal questions they want to answer? That would be great. All right, we're going to go answer all the questions. Oh my God, there are a lot more questions than I thought. That's okay. I got plenty of time. So I will keep answering. Okay, so let's see. Are you guys doing okay? We've been on for an hour and a half. Just let me know in the chat you want to keep going, or let me know in the chat if you want me to continue this another night, because we can easily do this other times. I'm going to keep answering for at least another half an hour. You guys let me know if you guys are dying of boredom or dying of glazed over from looking at my face for this long, but I'm going to keep going and answering questions. Okay. First question here. I've been going to the open questions right now in the Q&A. Is a history of a blood clot or a current blood clot a contraindication for using BHRT? Yes and no. So good news, you can absolutely use transdermal topical hormones that do not go through the liver and do not cause those clotting factors as a liver metabolite. What you want to stay away from at all costs is oral estrogen. You do not want to use oral estrogen that is shown to increase clots. Oral progesterone has a very slight, very, very tiny slight risk. So you want to go with a topical or transdermal bioidentical hormone replacement. So that is going to be a cream or a patch or gel. All of the hormones that we use in the Healthy Hormone Club are considered safe, do not increase risks of clots. And so that is a great question, because again, a lot of doctors, the whole orange Skittle scenario, a lot of doctors will say, oh, you had a blood clot, you cannot use hormone replacement therapy, because they only are referring to the oral hormones, the synthetic hormones that were used back in 2002. I don't know where they've been between now and 2002. Like, really? Are you kidding me? Have you not picked up a book or turned on the TV or done anything? Anyways, perfectly fine to use transdermal or topical through the skin. The reason why is because when you take your hormones in through the skin, they go right to the tissues. They do not have to go through the digestive tract or through the liver first. It's called the first pass liver metabolism. When they go through the liver, they have to form metabolites. Those metabolites can sometimes have clotting factors or that MMP9 that I talked about earlier. So absolutely safe to use transdermal. Okay, Jackie says, I'm taking bioidenticals and I'm losing a lot of weight and muscle tone, even though I lift weights every day. Could this be a side effect of BHRT? I'm already very thin and do not wish to lose any more weight. I don't believe it's a side effect of hormone replacement therapy. If you're overweight, hormone replacement therapy can help you normalize your weight, but generally it will not cause you to become underweight. Usually it will help you to maintain muscle tone. It could be a question of you're just not eating enough protein. I don't know what your diet looks like, but if you don't have enough protein, then that can definitely be a factor. Also, you might have some other lifestyle, or if you're on any other medications, possibly that could be an issue as well. All right, Wendy says, I'm 59 years old, postmenopausal, ER and PR positive, grade 1, IDC, lumpectomy 2 years ago. Interested in BHRT, encouraged by other experts interested in taking hormones. Would I be a candidate? Absolutely, yes. So I don't know, you probably asked this question before I answered the other breast cancer question, but absolutely. It's actually being on hormone replacement therapy that's bioidentical, that's delivered and dosed appropriate for you, meaning the right amount and the right delivery method. So transdermal, bioidentical, plant-based hormones without the toxins. That's an important caveat there. It's something that now I'm saying that I never used to say before. The reason why is because in the past 3 years, I've come to learn what is in all of the hormone preparations, both the bioidentical compounded and the bioidentical synthetic or pharmaceutical blends. They all have at least one, sometimes 7 to 10 plastics, parabens, petrochemicals, phthalates, propylene glycol, carcinogens, and that can be the worst when it comes to breast cancer risk. So forget about the estrogen, forget about the progesterone. What is really dangerous is those toxins, those endocrine disruptors, and those carcinogens. That is what is going to cause the cancer to grow. So you are actually going to be protected. You're going to have a lower incidence of recurrence. You're going to have better outcomes, and you're going to have reduced risk of all different types of cancer with bioidentical plant-based toxin-free transdermal hormones. So that is a great thought. Carrie says, what are your thoughts on the estrogen patch? So I think the patches are great because you can put them on and then you don't have to worry about them for a few days, and then you put another one on. The downside of the patch is that the adhesive is microplastics and petrochemicals. And so right now, like I actually have a meeting tomorrow with some biotech companies. What I am working on right now is I am trying to make the first non-toxic, plastic-free, petrochemical-free patch that we can use in hormone replacement therapy, also for vitamins and other things for children and the elderly. So this is really a passion project of mine. I've done it with the hormones. Now I'm looking to do it with other delivery methods. With that said, if you don't mind a little toxins with your hormones, then some women love the patch. Some women hate it because they get a little rash. Some women, it doesn't stick on them. So the pros are you don't have to remember to take your hormones every day. Like they kind of stay on for a while. They are transdermal, so you have that protection there where it's not oral, so you don't have those liver metabolites. So that's the pros. The cons is you do have those petrochemicals and those microplastics. So it's a small amount, but it's a small amount every day. So it's like, what they say, death by 1,000 paper cuts, that kind of thing. Personally, just at the stage in my life, and because I'm a naturopathic physician, and because I have a son that's 9 years old, I don't want to do anything that's going to be detrimental to my health on a regular basis that I can control. So that's my take on the patch. I still support you if that's what you want to do. I will still love on you. I will still celebrate you. I will still be thankful that you are replacing your hormones. You're still going to get the protection from the heart disease, the protection from the cancers, protection from the osteoporosis. You're still going to get all the benefits, just with that little detriment. And that's okay for some people. So that you have to make that decision yourself, but you asked me what I think. So that's my thought. How long can I use bioidentical hormones? That's my favorite question because I will use bioidentical hormones until the day that I die. Most women, like Oprah, will say the same thing. She's like, I will take my final breath putting on my hormone cream. You basically take your hormones for as long as you want to maintain your optimal health. Now, what happens if you stop taking hormones? Some women might decide that their spouse is getting old and he is starting to deteriorate, so they don't want to be youthful anymore. And so they want to also start deteriorating alongside. And that's a definite choice. And that is something that you have to make for yourself. But once you stop taking the hormones, then you go back to that stage of depletion and symptoms can start coming back. Your bones will start having osteoporosis after some time. You will start getting some more symptoms of hormone decline, increased inflammation. All those things will start coming back because your body no longer has those hormones replaced, but you still have the benefit of the years that you were on the hormones. So that is still good. You still have hormones in the bank, basically. So you've pushed back those diseases longer, you still extended your life. So there is no time limit on hormones. Most women will take them as long as they can, as long as they, live. And but you absolutely do not have to. There's no like withdrawal. There's no like negative aspect of stopping hormones. The only negative is you go back to the place where you no longer have those hormones coming in. So then things can start to slowly deteriorate again. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so Leslie asked kind of a similar question. Once you start BHRT and then balance your hormones, can you stop or reduce therapy? So the one caveat with that is if you are still in your reproductive years, you can take hormones for a period of time if you're having like a little lull or something, or you just had a tragic accident, or you just recovered from breast cancer. And then maybe if your ovaries are still working, then maybe you can go off of them for a period of time until you hit menopause, and then you might want to go back on them. But you can definitely reduce the amount of hormones you're taking. You can definitely stop them. It just means that you're likely going to get some of those symptoms back, and that is a personal choice. I do not have any care either way. Why does Dr. Mercola tell us not to use estrogen replacement? Because Dr. Mercola is not a hormone expert. Dr. Mercola probably has zero training in female hormones, menopause, or hormone replacement therapy. And of recent years, he seems to be just selling a bunch of products. Um, yeah, he's like one of the kind of, I don't know, controversial. Not really sure that he's practicing even medicine anymore, but he might have good information about some things. I really don't follow him, but I can tell you he is not I haven't seen him at any of the menopause conferences. I haven't seen him at any of the faculty. I haven't seen any certifications of women's health or any emphasis on that. So that's all I can say about that. Are you going to have a Black Friday sale this year? That's how I joined. It was a great deal. I hope I'd like to do my annual renewal. Oh, Sally, great question. If anytime, this is true for everybody. If you join the Healthy Hormone Club and it's on sale, you get that sale for as long as you're in the Healthy Hormone Club. So you don't have to wait for a sale. You're grandfathered in. So, and that's true. Like if you join on any of our sales, we're not going to raise your price. You're now grandfathered in at that price. So when your renewal comes up, it's going to be for the same amount. It's not going up to the full price. And yes, we will have a Black Friday sale this year. We're actually going to start it on the 18th. So that is not that far from now, and most of our stuff is going to be on sale. So yes, I try to have sales every chance I get, if you notice. So I try to like, always give people deals. And yeah, so definitely if you're on the fence about the Healthy Hormone Club, definitely let us know. We did have a bunch of people go through our hormone masterclass this week, and there is some masterclass special pricing. So if you do not have access to the Masterclass special pricing, please email us at support@glownatural.wellness and just ask, or you can DM me on Instagram. We answer all of, I'm always on Instagram. I'm not always on Instagram. That sounds terrible, but I do enjoy answering all the messages. I do have some help in there sometimes to make sure that I do get the messages answered. But I talk to everybody on Instagram that message me directly, especially if you are here. So if you are going to message me on Instagram, can you type like before the message, just write Q&A. So I know you came from the Q&A and I'll scroll through and answer those first. But if you need the masterclass special pricing or need the link, even if you didn't watch the masterclass, you can definitely get that sale now. You don't have to wait till Black Friday. Okay, let's see. My question is, why do I sweat so much? I'm just standing in the kitchen, putting things away, and my shirt is soaking wet. I am on hormones. All right. Could be other things. There is something called hyperhidrosis, which is a condition where people excessively sweat. This can happen at any time in your life. You don't have to be menopausal for it. So, could be that. It could also be that maybe you're still having hot flashes. Or it could be a food sensitivity. I used to be super sensitive to olive oil and also whole blueberries. Crazy thing, if I ate whole blueberries, I would actually start sweating. And if I put blueberries in a smoothie, didn't happen. So that was the wildest thing. Took me forever to figure it out, but could be a food sensitivity, could be even intestinal parasite or candida can cause those issues. So there's many different things it could be. If your hormones are already balanced and you know that, you can probably rule that out, but you can also talk to whoever you're working with for your hormones, and you maybe want to do a little dose adjustment to see if maybe it is still hormones that needs help. Okay, let's see. Why do I continue to have black hairs on my chin and neck? Which hormone controls that? So the hormone that causes these hair growth, this random hairs, is going to be testosterone and DHEA. And it's not in a bubble by itself. Usually what happens is when we hit perimenopause and menopause, our progesterone starts to fall first, and then our estrogen comes down, and our testosterone generally stays up here. And so the proportion of testosterone to estrogen and progesterone is off. It's called androgen dominance. And so what happens is that can cause this hair growth to happen, that can cause hair loss on the top of the head. It's kind of cruel, right? We're growing hair dark on our chin, and sometimes our mustache. We're losing hair on our head. Like, what the heck? Can also cause acne, can also cause irritability, can also cause belly fat. And so that could be a reason. It's also some ethnicities. I know people from like Mediterranean areas, some people who are Italian. Sometimes it's genetic. You might get a hair or two and you might have to pluck it. But if you're noticing that it's happening more and more, it usually is an androgen dominance issue, and that could be corrected fairly easily by adding in usually progesterone and some estrogen to balance out the androgen dominance. So it really is a simple fix. And then once your hormones are balanced, then you should not have that. But the hairs that are already starting to grow, they generally will come back. You just won't get new hairs. You can do laser hair removal, you can do electrolysis. There are some ways to permanently remove them. And once you have your hormones balanced, that shouldn't happen again. Right. Carrie says, I joined last week. I'm having terrible issues waking up throughout the night, getting headaches frequently. I'm 3 years post-menopause, waiting on my test kit. Okay, Carrie, I would give you a little hack for the Healthy Hormone Club. If you want to, if you are really suffering, you can call our hotline and you can, or even email us, or if you're in the app, if you know how to do the chat in the app, you can say, hey, I'm really suffering. Can we do my hormones based on my symptoms and then do the test later? We can do what we call fast tracking you. You don't have to wait for the test. We do not want you to suffer. So we can do it that way if you are actually really suffering. So don't need to wait. We can probably get you in tomorrow with a hormone specialist and get hormones shipped out the next day so that you can start having your hormones. If your test kit comes before you start using your hormones, you can take it right then. Or if you need to start using your hormones before the test kit comes, then it's okay. We can just go off your symptoms this time, and then we can test a little bit later. But the timing sounds like you can meet with the hormone specialist, get dosing based on your symptoms. I think the test kit will probably be there likely tomorrow because it usually gets there in a couple days. Before your hormones get there, take the test. Once your hormones get there, start using your hormones. Once the test results come back, we can just correlate, make sure we dose correctly, maybe do adjustment, but that gets you fast tracked so you don't have to wait. So hopefully that makes sense. I know I said a lot of things really fast there, but hopefully you got my drift. Awesome. Let's see. I have your pro drops, but have not started yet because I have reactions to progesterone in the past. In menopause, my estradiol is less than 12. Since I'm reactive, should I start with the progesterone before adding in the estradiol so that I know if I'm reacting to it or if I react? Also, in order to save money right now, I'm interested in a bioidentical estradiol that my insurance covers, appears to be clean. What do you think? You can, if you're not sure if your hormone or if your hormone replacement product is clean, you can ask the pharmacist for a complete list of ingredients. And then now we have like, you can even run if you have access to like ChatGPT or Google, you can type the ingredients out, say, hey, can you tell me if there are any microplastics, petrochemicals, or endocrine disrupting compounds in these ingredients? And then you just paste the ingredient list and they'll tell you what's in there because there'll be a lot of words that you probably don't understand or never heard of. So that's one way to check that. Even if you've been sensitive to progesterone in the past or you believe you have been, sometimes when you're taking estrogen and progesterone together, you won't have that same occurrence. I don't know what type of progesterone you are sensitive to. Some people will let me know this, and they were on birth control pills in the past, which is a synthetic progesterone, similar to the synthetic progesterone that causes all those issues. So sometimes it's not actually progesterone that you're sensitive to, it's a synthetic progestin. So that's something to look at. And then, yeah, I would probably do them together so that you have less of reaction when your hormones are balanced. So hopefully that's helpful. You can definitely work with either someone from Glow Natural Wellness or your local practitioner to kind of guide you through. Slow and steady wins the race. So if you think you're sensitive, start with the smallest amount possible, see how you do, and then increase gradually just to make sure that you're feeling good. Awesome. My NP said there's new research indicating fewer side effects from HRT and BHRT than prior research. Absolutely. I looked on PubMed, could not find anything. Do you know what study she might be referencing? There are tons of studies out now about the benefits and the lack of side effects for improperly dosed hormone replacement therapy. So that's a good, this is a good time to say, like, what are the side effects of natural plant-based hormone replacement therapy? So there are some side effects, and the good news is there's no like really bad side effects, but sometimes there can be irregular bleeding. Sometimes there can be breast tenderness. Sometimes there can be water retention. And then if you're taking an oral progesterone, sometimes there can be nausea. Those are the most popular side effects, but they are all temporary and they're all mild and they can all be reduced by adjusting dosing and going slower to start. So yeah, there is a lot of different research. In fact, like every day there's new research out about the benefits and the lack of detriments of using hormone replacement therapy. So the reason why you're seeing all the research now is because most of the pharmaceutical brands, like your Pfizer, your Bayer, your AstraZeneca, they all have their versions of hormones now. So now it's beneficial to them to prove to you that they're safe so that you can then buy their pharmaceuticals and they can make lots of money. So that's usually how it works, but it's good for everybody because at least the truth is coming out now. Let's see, I've been on bioidentical hormones for 6 weeks. So far, I have not noticed improvement. I'm 7 years old. I find the dosage very small, something like the size of a pearl. Should I, in fact, increase the dosage? You absolutely might need to increase the dosage for sure. So I would get with your practitioner, whoever you're working with to prescribe your hormone replacement therapy. And I would just exactly tell them what you told me. It's been 6 weeks, I'm not seeing a lot of improvements. Can I increase my dose? And a good practitioner will be like, absolutely. Tell me about your symptoms. Tell me about what you're currently doing. And we can definitely increase your dose. Yes. Let's see, I just joined the Healthy Hormone Club. My questions is the instructions for the hormones say not to apply the hormones over other creams and lotions. Is it okay to apply the lotions over the hormones after they are absorbed? Absolutely, yes. So give it, they actually absorb into the skin very, very quickly, but give it about 15 minutes before you put something on top of it. But the hormone creams themselves are very hydrating. So they actually act as a body cream as well. So you probably don't even need a lotion right in the same area, but it's okay if you do it afterwards. Let's see, postmenopausal age 77, can mold toxicity affect hormones? Mold toxicity can pretty much affect everything in your body. So yes, it can affect your hormones. It can affect your hormone symptoms. It can affect your brain health, your detoxification, your inflammation. So like I said before, every bite you take, every move you make, every thought you have, every exposure you're exposed to is a hormonal experience. So our hormones are our messengers in the body, and they are constantly getting information from the outside world and from the inside our brain and inside our body and adjusting to deal with the environment. And so, yes, mold can definitely cause some issues with your hormones and your hormone balance and your cortisol and your thyroid and your insulin and your inflammation. So many things. Why is it better to do saliva testing rather than blood tests to see whether we need to change our dosage of our creams? Because topical or transdermal applied hormones do not show up very well in the serum because the hormones themselves are not hanging out in your bloodstream. They're hanging out in your tissues and your lymphatic system. So when you just measure serum levels, you're just measuring what's in the blood, not what's in the tissues. And the saliva and also dry blood spot test tends to pick up the transdermally applied hormones so much better than the blood test. You can definitely do a blood test for your initial testing. You can definitely do a blood test if you're on oral hormones. But for transdermal hormones, especially creams and gels, so much better to monitor them with either saliva or dry blood spot. So that's just how it's just more accurate. Let's see, my sister wants to take advantage of the discount for the Healthy Hormone Club, but she's unable to start due to a hysterectomy planned in December. See, and she just had skin cancer removed a couple months ago. Is it okay to take hormone replacement in these situations? Yes, so absolutely. And she's going to absolutely want to start immediately after the hysterectomy. So what I would recommend is if she wants to take advantage of the sale pricing, she can purchase it during the sale. She can ask to start after her hysterectomy, so like a month from now, and then she could just start then. It's absolutely fine. If she just had skin cancer removed. I definitely want to like when they're rolling you out of a hysterectomy, they should be giving you hormones right then. So she's gonna want it, she's gonna want it right away. So I would probably say, even starting now, because we're in November, but you can just email. So actually Jen is going to reach out to you, I think, on this chat right here. So you can always email support at Glow Natural Wellness or call our 800 number, and we can hook you up with a sale. And if you do have someone that you're referring, you actually get a referral. So we give you a bunch of points in your Radiant Rewards account. So you get some great like free product, basically. Use it as cash. So that's pretty fun. Awesome. Let's see. I have terrible hot flashes. The schedule was 2 months on, 1 month off. Now it's 4 to 6 months on and a few weeks off. So the hot flashes, I think, is what you're saying. Currently, no hot flashes. Did a saliva test this morning. Is it best? What is there a best time to perform the saliva test? Hot flashes on or hot flashes off? That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, it's your symptoms are definitely fluctuating. I don't know if you're in perimenopause where your hormones are still fluctuating, or if you're in menopause and the hot flashes are related to other things going on in your environment or how your body is reacting to the environment. But if you are on hormone replacement therapy, there should be some consistency to it. I don't know if you're just starting with hormone replacement therapy. It's okay. The best time to do the test is in the morning. If you're cycling, it's going to be between days 19 and 21 of your cycle. If you're no longer cycling, it could be any day. And I would just take it now. Even though hot flashes are off, we'll go off that and your symptoms we will take into account. If you're working with us, I'm just assuming you're working with us, but if you're not, your practitioner should take into account all of your symptoms, including the hot flashes and the test results when determining your dosing. So it will all come into play. Awesome. Let's see. I use the Glow progesterone drops. I recommend to everybody. How many should I use? I did answer this question already. This was in the chat earlier. So that one's already answered. And just because I started asking that question, with the Pro drops, we have a kind of like gradual titration schedule where you start low and then you gradually increase your dose. Some people can do that on their own. Some people do really want the test and want the support of a hormone specialist kind of guiding them through. And so that we offer that in the Healthy Hormone Club, but the Pro Drops are available on our website, especially if you're someone who has PCOS or in perimenopause and you just feel like you need that one hormone. You can take our hormone quiz on our website to see which hormone's likely out of balance. If it's progesterone, then and you're in the early stages of perimenopause, and a lot of times you can resolve it on your own with the Pro Drops. But if you're someone that needs some guidance and help, that's what we do in the Healthy Hormone Club. So we're happy to help you there. Let's see. A friend told me she took pregnenolone. She discovered she began to lose her hair. Unfortunately, it never grew back. I also took a form of estrogen recently. I began to lose some hair also. But when I heard what happened to her, I stopped taking it. So I'm hoping that my hair will get thicker again. Is this likely? So definitely want hormone balance. So you said you took a form of estrogen. I don't know what form that was. Um, Pregnenolone is a hormone precursor that can convert to testosterone, DHEA, estrogen, or progesterone. You don't really know because it's just a precursor hormone. So you can go down any pathway. I'm guessing that your friend, it converted to an androgen, which is likely why she lost her hair. But the good thing is, like, if she gets her hormones balanced again, it can grow back. But hair does take the life cycle of hair growth is about 3 months. So whatever you're doing today, you're gonna see 3 months from now. So if this recently happened to her, it might take 3 months of having balanced hormones to grow back. Same thing with you. Estrogen will usually help with hair growth, but progesterone is super important for hair growth as well. Within 3 months of having balanced hormones. And no, like you can't have a lot of stress because stress can cause hair loss. Nutrient deficiencies can cause hair loss. Trauma can cause hair loss. So there's other things that come into play with hair loss. But if we are actually for sure it's due to hormone imbalance, within 3 months of having balanced hormones, you'll get your hair to grow back. What is the difference between the Hormone Club and Life Force? I do not know what Life Force is. I think it's Tony Robbins' program where he does a bunch of testing and then you pay for your hormones individually. Um, I don't know. It's not designed for women by women, but I'm sure it's a great program. I can't give you the differences because I don't really know the details of that program, but I can tell you what the Healthy Hormone Club includes. So the Healthy Hormone Club is everything included. You get when you join, you get welcomed in. We have a welcome party. You get a test kit shipped to your house along with a symptom questionnaire. You're going to do that. You're going to mail that in. You're going to have access to what we call the Healthy Hormone Academy, which is going to teach you lifestyle practices, breath work, explain to you about hormones and menopause. And then you're going to book your appointment with the hormone specialist, private appointment, video or phone, real people, not like other programs where you get like an app and you're texting someone that you never get to meet. You could hardly ask any questions. This is a real person that you're going to talk to that is a hormone specialist, highly trained in menopause, perimenopause, hormone replacement therapy, and all the symptoms. So you're going to meet with them, determine which hormones you need and don't need, what your dosing will be. Then your hormones will ship to your door. You're going to use your hormones. You're going to have access to our Healthy Hormone happy hours where you're going to meet the other people in the Healthy Hormone Club, hang out with me. You get access to unlimited appointments with your hormone specialist, unlimited hormone hotline, dial in every day without an appointment, talk to a hormone specialist. You also get unlimited chat through the app. You get access to all your protocols and all your information 24/7, plus all of the lifestyle support, workouts, meditations, detoxification strategies. The list goes on and on. That's all included for one price. So that's what the Healthy Hormone Club includes. And also we are the only Leaping Bunny certified, toxin-free, plastic-free, paraben-free, free of endocrine disruptors and petrochemical hormones that you can get. So there's that. And then also we're really, really cool and fun, and it's a great experience. So I'm sure there's many other places too. So, but we do support women no matter what program they do with their hormones, or whether they're going to their local doctor or whether they are just using lifestyle. We support everything and all of you, and you're always welcome on these calls and in our community. So yeah, we just want to educate women on making the right choice and having choices. That's what's important. Awesome. All right, how's everybody doing? Let me just check the chat real quick. Let's see. Awesome, awesome. All right, looks like you guys ready to keep going, or are you going to tap out and finish this another night? Let's see. I think you should go spend some time with your son. Let's see. Oh, Janet, can you type out? Oh, are you the Janet? Is it the sweating problem? So it's hyperhidrosis. So hyper like HYPER and then hydrosis, like hydrate, but hydrosis. That is like a condition that can occur anytime in life that can cause you to sweat excessively. There are some treatments for it. And we can see. All right. I'm going to keep, Jen, you can leave. I know you have to go to bed. You have been doing a lot. So I'm going to just answer a few more questions. It's 8 o'clock. It's fine. As long as I think still have like close to 100 people here. So I'm going to get through and answer a few more questions because I still have a ton of energy and this is fun for me. But I am going to download the questions, and then what I will do is I will use these questions on YouTube and Instagram to answer them over the rest of the weekend. So, and then I am traveling this week, but I might be able to do a pop-up Q&A from Canada on Monday night if needed. So anyway, let me keep going. Let's see. If someone is postmenopausal for many years and their hormones are no longer fluctuating as if they were in perimenopause, why would you have to have your hormones checked every 4 months? You don't. You don't have to have them checked every 4 months, but like I said earlier, so every bite you take, every move you make, every thought you have can impact your hormones. So most women will do less checks, but it's there for you if you want to. You absolutely don't have to check your hormones every 4 months if you're dialed in completely. But sometimes you might have a death in the family, you might have a stressor, you might have an accident, you might get sick, and then that can throw your hormones off whack again, and you might need to retest your hormones. So it's there for you if you need. Usually within the first year, it's kind of good to dial it in. It can take some time, But after that, you can definitely drop down to less testing if that's what you like. Let's see. On HRT, estradiol patch and daily progesterone, and using DHA cream for my vagina, I'm experiencing breast pain. Do you think I'm out of balance? What do you think I'm out of balance? So breast pain, if you're new on hormone replacement therapy, it's your first few months. Sometimes breast fullness, it can feel a little bit painful. However, if it's a type of breast pain where they're sore to touch, like you don't want to bump into anybody, that could mean you need a little bit more hormones. So that could be probably part of it. So a couple different things. New to hormone therapy, it's your body getting used to it. Been on hormones for a while. It's kind of like ouch pain, then you might need a little bit more hormones. So the good news is breast pain is not an indication of breast cancer. So that used to be a wives' tale. Like if your breasts are sore or hurt, it means you have breast cancer. That's not true. I mean, definitely you could have, I mean, 1 in 7 women get breast cancer. So I don't want to say you definitely don't have breast cancer, but it's not related to that. Let's see. Getting like dry little, I'm talking so much. Does that happen to you guys? I get like little dry spots around my mouth. All right, let's see. I've been taking pro drops. I notice it says 1 to 2 times a day. How should I know how much to take? Also, what symptoms does progesterone help with? I've had restless nights, irritability. Will it help these symptoms? Yes, it does help those symptoms. So there's lots of different symptoms of progesterone. We have lots of information on our website, even on our pro drop sales page, lots of information about that. Some women only need to take it once a day, usually at night. Some women need to take it twice a day, depending on their severity of their symptoms. So we on our instructions that come with the pro drops, we recommend that you start with 2 to 3 drops once a day, and then you increase to 5 drops. And if that's solved your symptoms, great. Otherwise, you're gonna do another 5 drops a different time of day, so morning and night. If that helps, great. If you still need more, you might need additional hormones. So symptoms that's going to help is irritability, thyroid issues, anxiety, difficulty sleeping, gut issues, hair dullness, breakage, falling out, things like that. Those are like the main ones, but there's tons of different benefits of progesterone, brain health, so many things. Do you recommend estradiol or vaginal fem for a vaginal atrophy? I've been using Glow Below, but I think I need more. You may just need to use Glow Below twice a day. That's something that a lot of women need. It's the same active ingredient in like a Vagifem. So it's just estradiol and estriol. So you might just need to use more of it, or you might need systemic hormone replacement therapy in addition. But you can definitely like switch and try other things as well. Let's see. I've tried the estradiol patch and immediately felt more energy, but I quickly developed heartburn. A quick Google search says that it's a common side effect of the patch for women. Is it specific to the patch, or is the body reacting to actual estradiol? Usually it is a symptom of the patch. I haven't heard that much from women on other forms of estradiol. So, but everybody's a little bit different. So you can try a different form and see if it appeals better to you. If you're going to use a cream, you can use it below the waist, and that can sometimes help with reducing that symptom. Let's see. My mom is 96, has dementia, lives in a long-term care facility. She's on Synthroid. She has a breast lump, cancer not diagnosed because they're not going to touch it due to her age. She has had other autoimmune issues, previous colon cancer, skin cancer. Can we help her? I want her to have quality of life, reduce her anxiety, stress, depression. Diet is poor in these facilities, too much processed food, teeth deteriorating, lack of tooth care by the aides. That one is definitely a tough one because I would definitely start with diet, but if diet can't be started with, what I would start with is um, some type of meditation, guided meditation, mindset therapy, heart math, brain heart coherence. So there's lots of different apps. If you go to heartmathinstitute.com, they have this little sensor you can put on your ear and this little app for the phone. It will teach her how to breathe to get into heart brain coherence. You can learn this for her and then help her. That is probably the quickest, easiest way for her to get some relief. It's going to put her into a state of coherence and it's going to help reduce the pain. Um, Hormone replacement therapy with this much going on without, the diet, without, with all these medications and things. Can it help? Yes. Is it likely to not do enough? Probably. Is she likely to be not consistent with it? Likely. So I would go with, in this particular situation, I would go with the heart math breathing techniques. That would be amazing for her. You absolutely could use progesterone because progesterone is used a lot of times in traumatic brain injuries and things like that. So that can definitely help reduce anxiety and stress and help with her brain. But I can't with like good conscience say it's going to solve all her problems or it's going to be enough at this stage in the game. If she wasn't dealing with being in the assisted care facility with the poor nutrition and the poor, dental health and those things, then my answer would probably be different. I commend you for wanting to help her. I totally understand. I wish I had a magic wand, and I wish that it would just be, easy. But I would say like the heart math or the breath work is probably going to be give you the most bang for the buck and make her the most comfortable and have the most change in her body. Let's see. I used to be in the Healthy Hormone Club, moved to Mexico, can't afford it anymore. How can we know what ingredients to look out for? Do you happen to have an article? I can create that article. So I haven't been as vocal about the toxins and the hormones for a couple of reasons. One, I really want women to get help, and I don't want them to be afraid to use hormone replacement therapy. But at the same time, just like I will speak out about the additives and the colors and the preservatives in certain foods, it's really important. I think it's my obligation to womankind to educate on the toxins in some of these medications and hormones, even compounded, even bioidentical. And so that is something that I will be producing very soon. I think I do have some social media posts on the topic, but yes, I can get that to you. And then also, since you have been in the Healthy Hormone Club in the past, um, why don't you reach out to us to see if we can give you any assistance with the costs for you for a period of time. We do have some scholarship programs that we do not advertise, but we do have a huge mission to help as many women as possible. So if it is a true financial hardship, and since you've already been in the program before, please reach out and see if we can offer some assistance to you and make it work in some way. Um, yeah, that's the best I can say. I don't want to see you suffer. Awesome. And thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it. And hanging out this whole long. Obviously, are we still all here? Am I here by myself? No, we still have 75 of you guys here. Wow, it's a lot. You guys have been spending all night with me. I feel like we should have like a slumber party or something. Definitely, we're going to be hosting a women's health retreat in the spring where we will go do yoga, we will have cooking classes, we will dance, and we will sit around a campfire and talk all things hormones, sex, relationships, beauty. It's going to be a blast. I do not have all the details yet, but definitely I am so excited to do something like this live where we are just hanging out. Maybe we're having an organic cocktail or a non or alcoholic beverage that is like a mocktail with health giving herbs. And we are just having the best time of our lives. So let's see, I have Graves' disease. I am hypothyroid now on Synthroid. Does HRT impact thyroid medication dosage? It can. So imbalanced hormones can. So I don't know if you were here in the beginning when I was talking about the woman who was on the same dose of thyroid medication for like 20 years. And then she went through menopause. And all of a sudden, she felt like she needed more because it was not working anymore. She got her doctor immediately raised her dose, but raised it so high that she started getting heart palpitations. So she came to us wanting to balance her hormones, concerned about her heart and her thyroid. We told her about how hormone replacement can optimize the thyroid when you have balanced hormones. So she actually discontinued her thyroid medication for a short period of time while she was getting her hormones balanced. And then she was able to go back on and only use, I think it was a quarter or a half of her original dose. So with the dose that she'd been on for 20 years, she was actually able to use less of it and still feel amazing. So there is a correlation. Progesterone is big for allowing your body to work properly and to make your thyroid hormone. And then estrogen is important for it not binding up if you have proper amounts. So there's a big connection between estrogen, progesterone, and thyroid hormone. And when they're balanced, you have optimal thyroid hormone production and conversion. So there is definitely that connection, but you want to work together with the practitioner and dial things in. You might have some changes to your need for thyroid medication when you get your hormones balanced. Or you might have more need for thyroid medication if you're going through menopause and their hormones are imbalanced. Let's see, I'm 43 years old. I had my third child with IVF 3 years ago. Congratulations. I have very tense, irritable, sad at times, depressed and aggressive states. I don't know what to do. Seeking holistic natural treatment. Quick online questionnaire says I have unbalanced cortisol. Am I going through menopause? So you're going through something that I like to call, this is not a technical term, but I went through it myself when I had my son at 41, postpartum perimenopause. So what that means is you're an older mom, you had your son over age 40 or your daughter, third child. I had my son over age 40, first child. And then that time afterwards where your body is, recovering from the pregnancy and then it's supposed to bounce back to normal doesn't really happen. And that's the perimenopause. So you have postpartum and then perimenopause on top of it. And sometimes you have those more severe symptoms. Your progesterone is likely in the tank or non-existent. Progesterone and cortisol do go hand in hand. So yes, you're going through perimenopause more than likely. Saliva tests would be great. Please explain how the Healthy Hormone Club works. So that will take care of all of it. The Healthy Hormone Club is basically everything you need to balance your hormones. You get, first of all, you're in a supportive environment. We will test your hormones. You'll meet with a hormone specialist who's highly trained in hormone replacement therapy, women's health, perimenopause, adrenal health, thyroid. And we will kind of explain to you where you're at on your test. We'll evaluate over 65 symptoms of progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, cortisol, thyroid, metabolic syndrome, insulin. We'll look at where you're at. We're going to make recommendations for diet, lifestyle, supplementation, stress reduction, and then your hormones. We're going to let you know which hormones you need. We're going to send you those hormones to your door. Everything's included. And then we're going to communicate with you. You're going to communicate with us. Let us know how you're feeling. You have a little portal that has all your information and also 24/7 access to diet, lifestyle, nutrition, stress reduction, all that information to help support your hormone journey and help you get the most out of your hormones. You can call into our hotline anytime, Monday through Friday. You'll speak to a hormone specialist that day, or you can book appointments if you're the kind of person that likes to have it on your calendar. Those are unlimited. And then we have hormone happy hours where we hang out and talk. You do retesting every 4 or 5 months just to make sure you're dialed in. And then your hormones just kind of come automatically. You get as many dose adjustments as you want. And we're supporting you for optimal health. So you likely can use some adaptogenic herbs. You likely can use some stress reduction techniques. And you likely can use some progesterone and estrogen support as well. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that makes sense. You're always talking to a real person in the Healthy Hormone Club. You're never just texting with probably a bot. And that's what most of the other practices I see. You don't actually get to talk to a real person. You don't get to have like a one-on-one conversation. We're very available, very supportive, and hopefully we can help you. But hopefully you get help one way or another. Is the progesterone micronized? Absolutely. We only use ultra micronized progesterone in our products. Actually, the standard for micronization is actually not that small, and our pro drops are like, I can't remember exactly how many times smaller than the standard, so it's very highly absorbable. Let's see. I think that's see, we're 8:22. Let me go back. I'm just always I have big all the questions up on my screen, so I always have to check and make sure people are still here with me. I don't want to be just answering questions myself, but you guys are all still here. I think that hopefully Jen is gone. Shauna is still here. Holy moly. Shauna, if you need to go to sleep, please do. Um, it's okay. I can handle this on my own. I don't want to make you, I know you have children who probably need to go to bed. I am probably going to leave in 10 minutes because I want to see my son before he goes to sleep. So I am at the office. He's at the house. My husband, Jeff, drove him over here just to do the prize patrol. And then they went back home. So I thought that was kind of cute. So Paxton is the embodiment of me and my husband, and he loves nothing more than to make people happy and to give things away. So when I told him, hey, I'm going to be doing a Q&A with a bunch of ladies tonight that want help with their health, and it'd be really cool if we gave stuff away. He's like, can I give stuff away? And so we call him the Prize Patrol because he's done this multiple times over the past 3 years on my events. And so I'm actually gonna get him some like t-shirts and some little horns next time he comes in. That'd be kind of fun. But yes, he really loves it. And so again, if you didn't win, we are going to do another giveaway when we send out the Q&A. So there'll be a question in the email. You don't even have to watch the video. So there'll be a question for you to answer. And then usually I post the Q&As onto YouTube. So that's another reason why I don't have the chat showing on the screen, because I want it to be kind of anonymous. And so when I post it on YouTube, I will also give away a prize. So awesome. All right. Let me go back to questions. I'm going to answer like we have 5 minutes more of questions, and then I will download the rest of the questions because there's so many good ones. It's insane how many good questions there are. Um, and then what I will do is I will use these because I'm not good at social media. I'm gonna say that yet. Okay, so I'm not good at social media yet. So I really want to be more consistent posting on Instagram and YouTube. And those are probably then maybe Facebook with valuable information for people that can't make it to these sessions. So I'm going to use your questions without saying your names and answer the questions so you guys can have them as well. And that will help other women as well. So I'm going to just answer a few more. Let's see. Is it okay to use coconut oil on the vulva area for moisturizer? Absolutely. It's what we used to use all the time for lubricant because I don't like any of those like chemical ones. But silicone based are great as well. Um, let's see. Uh, 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 Using your glow below with estrogen because itchy down below. I noticed my skin is thinner. Anything else you recommend for that? I would use the glow below with DHEA also. So you can do like a daytime, nighttime skincare for down there, and that can be super helpful. Um, Other things, if you're itchy, sometimes it's time to change the type of underwear you're wearing, wear more breathable fabrics, things like that. Sometimes as we age, I mentioned on your face, you can get sensitive to certain products and soaps and moisturizers. Same thing for your skincare down below. So you might look at your detergents, you might look at any soaps that you're using, shampoos, things like that. Sometimes they can become irritating once your estrogen starts to drop. So, yes. Let's see, Michelle, thanks for sharing your story. I'm currently considering joining HHC. See, since January, I've been getting the pellet where I receive estrogen and testosterone. I've been seeing hair growth on my face and have large amounts of hair loss. The doctor prescribed a medication to stop this, but I had some difficulties. That drives me nuts that you have a doctor that's giving you massive doses of hormones in the pellet, which is causing a side effect. And instead of reducing your dose, he's going to give you a medication on top of that, which also is causing some difficulties. So, yes, HAC will address and monitor those symptoms. I will tell you right now that most of the symptoms are because pellets have massive doses of hormones. And so you will have physiological doses of hormones that are going to help to balance things out and help support the body in getting back to normal. The membership does cover the cost of all of the hormones and all of the testing. The only like additional cost is if we recommend a certain way of eating, or we recommend you go to the gym, or we recommend certain supplements that aren't part of the program, then those might be additional costs. But the hormones, the testing, the consultations, all the support, all the lifestyle support, all of that is included for the one price. We try to make it as affordable as possible. Yes, let me know if you have any questions. Shauna's typing to you. You can also get on a call with her or one of our amazing hormone coaches who can really make sure that you have success in the program, make sure it's right for you before you join, and help facilitate getting you started on the right track. Yes. Would you mind explaining the differences in your Glow Below products? So because we're short on time, I would recommend that you go to our website and go to the shop, or just click the banner at the top that's going to bring you to the Glow Below page. And it actually tells you the differences right on there. They both work amazing. The reason why originally I had two different ones was because some people have a stigma against estrogen. But in the process of testing and formulating, we found that the DHEA version was great to use before sexual intercourse, helped with more pleasure and things like that, but also had a lot of the same benefits. The estrogen version tends to be better for urinary tract infections and slightly better for improving vaginal dryness and pain associated with vaginal atrophy. The DHEA seems to be slightly better for the pleasure and things like that, but they are both really, really good. The reason why they work almost the same is because the DHEA converts to estrogen in the vaginal tissue. So let's see. Is it normal to gain a few pounds while adjusting to BHRT? Yes, it is normal. And what it is water weight. For some women, this is something that happens. It generally will resolve on its own. If it's really troublesome to you, you can use some natural diuretics like parsley or ginger, or you can use like a water. There's some over the counter like water expel pills and things like that that can help you to kind of normalize, but it is just water retention most of the time. And then what's going to happen is that water is going to come off and you're actually going to be fitter because it's going to help with your body composition and actually help you lose fat. Would you produce a product with pregnenolone and possibly DHEA combined? Usually won't do that because pregnenolone is highly unpredictable, so we don't really know what it's going to do. So being the fact that we have estrogen, we have progesterone, we have DHEA, we already have the hormones that are going to do the things we want them to do. Pregnenolone I might someday do something like that, but for right now, it's not part of like a menopause hormone replacement. I do use pregnenolone sometimes with younger women that don't need hormone replacement and they just need a little boost overall. There are some benefits to pregnenolone as well, so I don't think there's anything like wrong with it. But if you're going to be, working with the other hormones, then it kind of throws things off sometimes. Let's see. I was diagnosed with vaginal LS. I think you're talking about lichen sclerosis. Out of nowhere, a doctor wants to put me on a steroid cream, makes my heart race. Seems like it will be thin the tissue more. Would vaginal estradiol work for me to prevent the progression? Absolutely. Highly recommend Glow Below in this situation because not only it's going to have your vaginal estradiol and estriol, but it's also going to have all the soothing botanicals, the hyaluronic acid, all the things that are going to help to soothe, calm, and comfort you as your body is healing. I don't get a period anymore, only 2 times a year. Do I still need to break from the bioidenticals every month or should I take them every day? That is a personal choice. So, yes, you can take them every day or you can take a short break. Either way is absolutely fine. We just in general, what we like to do is mimic the body's natural rhythms. And when we were cycling, we had about 5 days in the month where both our estrogen and progesterone were super, super low. This is the days right before leading up to your period and the first few days of your period. That's when the body hardly produced any hormones. So in some people think it's like a break to prevent your body from getting resistant to the hormones. I just like to do things as naturally as possible, what the body is expecting. And I always think that, whether you believe in God or nature or higher power, I feel like the body doesn't make mistakes and when it's running perfectly. And so that's why we do the short break. There are a lot of women who aren't able to do the short break because their symptoms come back when they stop using the hormones. So if it's easier for you to go all the way through, you absolutely can. If you're in our Healthy Hormone Club, I just ask that um, if I say something here on one of the calls and you change your protocol, just let your hormone specialist know because they're going to note it in your file and they're going to make sure everything's kind of going better. And that way we can support you if you ever call in. Is your program covered by insurance? It is not. We can use HSA and FSA cards. So if you have a health savings account or a flexible spending account, you can use that to purchase the Healthy Hormone Club or really any products on glownaturalwellness.com. We try to keep things as affordable as possible. The problem with insurance is they only approve hormone replacement for severe hot flashes and for vaginal dryness. So all the other symptoms that we're working with, it's not really standard of care. And then we are dictated what we can say, what we can do. And it's a lot easier to just do it without the restriction of having some weird ban somewhere in I don't know, Kansas deciding what's right, whether you get hormones or not. We like to put the power back into your hands. All right, it is 8:35. I'm gonna need to call it a day. So thank you so much for being here, you guys. I absolutely loved hanging out with you. If you did not get your question answered, let me just see where I'm at. All right. I'm gonna make sure that I go through and answer the rest of the questions. There's probably about 30 more questions that I did not get to. I will definitely answer it. I'm going to send the email out tomorrow. And in the email, we will include a link for a sale price. So many of you, about, I want to say like 10,000 women went through this week and watched one of our hormone restoration master classes, which is absolutely amazing. However, and they all have a discount code. However, if you've been with us for a while, if you came in because a friend recommended you, we're going to give you a discount code too. So you can take advantage of some savings. Absolutely, Elisa, we're going to take care of you. Yes, all of our products are approved for using a health savings account or a flexible spending account. So you can absolutely do that at checkout. You can choose the True Med HSA option. If you are paying, if you're doing the one-time purchase, if you're paying in monthly payments, then you're going, when you get to checkout, you're going to have a link. Once you pay, it's going to be a link to fill out a form, and then you will get your HSA information. You'll also get a letter of medical necessity to have on file, and there'll be all the instructions for how to get reimbursed through your HSA. So yes, it's all eligible. Yes, restless leg syndrome is it a symptom of menopause? It could be, or it could also be genetic. So there are different reasons for that. Awesome. All right. I know I said I'm going to stop answering questions and I cannot help myself. So, but yeah, so replay will come out tomorrow. In the email. So if you signed up for this, which you all did, you'll get the email with the replay. We'll have some additional information in there. We'll have a coupon code in there for you if you want to join the Healthy Hormone Club. But by all means, it's not necessary to come to these Q&As and to hang out with me. If you have questions, you can message support@glownaturalwellness.com, or you can call into our 1-800 number. You'll see all the information on the email. You can book a call. You can also DM me on Instagram. I'm at Dr. Michelle Sands on Instagram. Answer all my messages. Just do me a favor and just put Q&A before your message, like Q&A dash or Q&A colon, so that I'll know you are here. And maybe I didn't get to your question. And when I put my son to bed, I'm going to be on Instagram tonight. So, and I'm just going to be looking to see if there's any questions I can answer. And then in addition, I'm also going to go ahead and download the questions, and I'm going to answer them in my stories and on my reels for the rest of the weekend. So I am going to be traveling this week, but I'll do it at the airport. I'll do it in between sessions when I'm at my conference. And so it is actually a help to me because I need to get better at putting out more content for women like you who don't have the information. So it kind of gives me a push. And I just want to thank you guys so much for spending time with me. I want to give you guys all give yourself a pat on the back and a high five and a celebration, because my God, you guys spent pretty much all night on a Tuesday night learning about your hormones. That is amazing. That is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. It's going to support your family. It's going to support your career, your community. You guys are the cream of the crop, and you guys are doing so much for yourself and also for other women. Because guess what you're going to be talking about next time you're at a spin class or a dinner party? You're going to start talking about hormones just like me. So I hope that for you. And so when the replay comes out, the biggest thank you can ever give me is to share it with another woman and help them play it forward. That's the biggest thank you for my message to get out and for my time to be impacting even more women. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I hope I answered all your questions as good as you wanted. Sometimes it's hard to answer them quickly and move on to the next. If you feel as though I didn't answer your question fully, or you're one of the unfortunate women that did not get your question answered, just bug us, email us, DM me on Instagram, but be watching my Instagram at Dr. Michelle Sands, because I will be answering the rest of the questions over the next 3 to 4 days. So thank you again. I hope to see you in the Healthy Hormone Club, because we're going to be hanging out lots, and not in this format. When we hang out, we see each other's face. I don't mute anybody. You can just jump in like a big Italian family and ask a question. We have a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, and it's really a great supportive environment. And I hope I see you out there in the world. Definitely, I'll be posting more about where I'm traveling to and doing some meetups and doing some more community fun in 2025. Really wanting to get the message out. We also, just so you know, have a Lifetime TV show coming out all about menopause, and then also a PBS special in 2025 educating women about these very topics that we talked about tonight. So lots of fun stuff happening. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great, great rest of your day, evening, night, and reach out to us at Glow Natural Wellness if we can help you at all. Take care. Bye-bye.